6 other men if you're such a great woman.
Someone needs to read Romans 16. I mean, there's female apostles.
6 other men now.
There are female apostles, female leaders, female teachers. The top
you're egalitarian? You're
absolutely.
egalitarian?
Paul was an egalitarian.
This guy.
Oh my gosh, this guy's
Paul was an egalitarian. What are you talking
name
about?
one female apostle. Watch out.
And that's why I'm calling him out.
Paul was not egalitarian. What are you talking about, PRK? Are you
that was
kidding
Priscilla.
me?
Priscilla
You're an egalitarian.
Priscilla, you mean the one that I had to get permission from Paul to even teach? Yeah, go read
it's fine. We're not in church.
So what? She taught.
I mean,
She was a
I don't
teacher
know.
in
She had to
church.
get permission.
A woman doesn't have
Anybody
any
would have to get
authority
permission.
in
You
any
don't think a
regard.
man would have to get permission?
I have authority over my
man has to
children.
give permission.
I have authority over my children. What are you talking about?
Yo, sir.
Oh my gosh, you
Let's
guys
all talk
never
at let's all talk at once.
Yeah, Genesis.
Yeah,
you don't
what
think
authority
a man?
do you have over your household?
Wait, hold on.
I have authority over my children. Yeah.
Yeah, that's about it. That's where the
Doesn't your husband have the authority over your children?
Wow. I don't want
what
authority over
do you have,
any man.
woman?
What?
Wow.
Oh,
Jacob,
I'm just trying to correct your wicked behavior against Sir and PRK and Justin.
Nicole,
you guys are,
hold on,
you guys claim to be Christians, but you guys are being
one
rude
question.
to your own brethren in Christ.
Okay, Mrs. Authority, hold on.
And you know what's crazy is that a woman has to call you out for it.
Hold on.
No,
you don't want to listen to
Genesis
men.
and Jacob. I think Genesis is a troll or something like that. I don't think he's not.
No, he's not a troll. He's this guy that does lives.
Jacob definitely doesn't have the whole.
I'll tell you about this Genesis guy. He does lives where he argues dinosaurs existed in the 1st century. And he does lives where he runs PAG. He's kind of this. He's just kind of this goofball.
Leave him alone and stop insulting him. Anyways, I'm going to ask Nicole a question. Hey, Nicole, real quick. Nicole, no, hold on. Wait, hold on. Mrs. Authority.
Keep talking because I think
wait, Nicole wants to come at my neck.
You have no authority over me.
Nicole, do you think it's okay?
You have no authority over me.
You want to join in? We're all
Can't even answer a simple question.
I don't bow down to you.
Let's
I don't submit to you.
Yeah, get your husband on here.
My husband is deployed right now, so I don't know what you're talking about. But I mean, I can get him to talk to you.
Is he kissing the wall? Is he kissing the wall? Are you a Zionist?
Kissing the wall?
Are you a Zionist?
No, I'm not a Zionist. In fact, I despise the state of Israel. What are you talking about?
That's not.
So then why is your husband?
Specifically when
That's great. Yeah, you support the. Yeah, okay, whatever. Anyways, Nicole, I'm gonna ask you a simple question. Oh my gosh, can everybody just stop?
Yeah, we're just all going to talk.
Nicole came at my neck. Let me ask her a question. Nicole,
Jacob hasn't said
Everyone's
anything.
you guys just stop talking for 1 second.
Down and wait and
Because
let
if
Jacob
we
get
all
his
talk at the same time, I'm sure
I think if we let Jacob get his point across,
Yeah, one at a time.
everybody will be able to hear him.
Yeah, one at a time. Let's just be quiet.
Let me get my point across.
So Jacob,
Yes.
just,
Okay, let's
Nicole,
stop interrupting
just
Jacob.
go ahead.
Right? Let's just let him
Okay,
talk.
am I going to talk or what?
You can start your point, and then
Yeah, go
nobody
ahead.
can interrupt you.
Go ahead, Jacob.
Jacob, you're out of the app.
Okay, thank you. Anyways,
Wait,
Nicole,
stop
I had a
interrupting
simple
Jacob.
question.
Stop interrupting
Just start
you.
your point,
Trying to
nobody
say
can interrupt you.
All right, go ahead, Jacob.
If I can't talk, then I won't ask it. No problem.
Zach, stop interrupting Jacob. Go ahead, Jacob.
Okay, so Nicole,
Go ahead, Jacob.
do you think
Look,
she
I
ran?
Jacob,
She
you
ran
know
from the
where every
question.
time you talk, he talks.
She ran.
I'm not gonna do that, so I'm gonna let you speak.
I gotta go. I'm screenshotting. Okay, Nicole, my
He's
question
actually crying.
was:
Wait, hold
do
on,
you
let's-
think it's okay for an
let's-
atheist to have authority over? Dude, oh my gosh!
Then after
Oh my gosh!
Then
Whatever.
we can all
She
respond.
ran. She ran, Daddy.
Go ahead, Jacob.
She ran.
Jacob, go ahead.
That's so funny.
Jacob, the floor is yours. Go ahead.
This guy makes fun of berating women.
You're not gonna rage, baby.
Yeah.
Nice try, though. Nice
You're
try,
already
boys.
raging, buddy.
You're not gonna rage, baby.
Your profile picture
You've been raging your entire life.
Talk loud, bro. I've got a powerful voice.
Did he just call someone?
I run a multi-million-dollar company. I talk like this because I got a powerful voice. Sit down.
Did you just say daddy?
Bro said I work at $1,000 company.
Multi-million, he said.
Oh wait, that's
He-
more than 1 million.
He does.
Well, I said I
15
run a
interviews.
multi-million-dollar company.
How
Yeah,
much? do
what's
you
the
make
name
a
of the
year?
company?
Yeah, how much do you make a year, and what's the name of the company? Just
My gosh, you think I'm gonna get doxxed by you? Nice try, dummy.
That's what someone would say that doesn't really own a multi-million-dollar company.
Wait, I just
No,
thought
that's
of
actually
something.
smart of him.
I run
to
a
say
multi-billion-dollar
that
company.
because of many reasons.
So I have 86 followers. So
I run a $1 trillion company.
that's true. I can vouch for him, but I won't dox him.
Or, I mean, is this
Yo,
actually
Genesis
like a
Logic. Do you know
Christian
the
live, or is
do you know the
this
subreddit?
No,
There's a subreddit.
wait a second.
I'm asking you a question. I'm asking you a question. I'm asking you a question.
Yeah, so you have an atheist as a mod. Let's keep it simple, guys. This guy's got an atheist modding his Christian panel.
Stop talking
What
about
a
it.
joke, dude. Got an atheist modding your Christian panel.
Justin's an atheist.
What would Jesus think about that, buddy?
Just talk about it
Very
once,
productive
guys.
before.
Yeah, Genesis. Do you know the subreddit r/?
Interrupted me several times. You did nothing about it, host. You let them interrupt me over and over.
Everybody's interrupting.
It's crazy.
This is a whole.
Okay,
I'll become a Christian.
Somebody has to take initiative,
I
so I'll
remember
start
this guy
talking.
from
Okay,
weeks ago.
Genesis. Do you know the subreddit r/username checks out?
What?
You know the
Follow-up
subreddit
question, Jacob. When did you stop beating your wife?
I don't use Reddit. I don't even know what you're talking about.
Anyways, listen.
Wait,
I'm not going to
Jacob
listen
beats his
to a
wife?
bunch of men who don't think the gospel's at the forefront of apologetics.
That's
Tell
literally
me how to
what I
live my
do
life.
every day, Jacob. Oh my goodness.
Wait,
Dude, you're an egalitarian. You don't even believe,
Oh
bro.
my-
You don't
what?
even believe
I don't-
men have any authority, bro.
What?
Yeah, that's not biblical. I'm sorry, but that is absolutely.
That's not what
Wait,
egalitarian means.
what verse are you pointing
You
to?
are. You said
I
you were
could point you to 30
egalitarian. That is
verses
a
in the New
heresy.
Testament which
That
show-
is a heresy. Paul would rebuke
the head of
that.
men is the head of women. Is
Yeah,
man or
God hates
something?
bitches.
All right, give me a moment. I mean, that's
Go. Okay, go to your
Wait,
Sunday
Jacob,
service
wait,
and go.
Jacob,
Go
amen?
go watch your
Amen.
female
God hates-
pastor
God
give a
hates bitches
sermon.
or not?
Go watch your female pastor give a sermon.
Oh
Jacob,
boy,
Jacob,
God forbid there's a
bitches
female
or not?
pastor. The world's going to implode. Oh no, what are we going to do? Not a female pastor.
Yeah,
Oh,
you know,
no.
you know God made Eve.
That's a
first.
heresy. Paul gave no
Oh
authority
no!
to dude.
Oh no! Scream! A female pastor! Oh no!
What? Oh, so
Rebuke churches like that. I walk into them and I rebuke
pastors are
them.
fine, right? As long as they're male, trans pastors are fine.
But you rebuke a church?
Absolutely not.
They're
Does the
male.
root come
though.
down? Does the
The
foundation?
only
crumble when you
acceptable
rebuke a church?
pastors are going to be white man with blonde hair and blue eyes.
And they're cis, right?
Yeah, cis white man with blonde.
Do you
hair.
hate white people too? Do you hate white people? Do you hate
just go
the
watch
Aryan
Nick
race?
Fuentes.
Do you think? Hey, Jacob, do you think black people should be kicked out of the country?
Are you kidding me? No.
No, I've had white nationalists tell me that before, so I'm just curious.
Yeah.
I think that all the other races should be. The blacks are kind of all right to be here, but
Oh, okay,
What?
good. Okay, cool.
Bro,
Just
Bro
check.
said
Wow,
the
so
black. Bro
much-
said the
All right,
black.
I'm good. I'm on
the
the in
illegals should be
list.
kicked out.
All
I don't
right.
agree with that.
Wait,
No,
you
all
said,
the illegals should be kicked out of here.
First of all,
in-
Jacob, you didn't say
Yeah,
all
if
the
you're gonna be
illegals. You
Christian
said
and
all
follow-
the other races. You didn't say illegals. You said all the other races.
Yeah, well,
right? What
because
if Freudian
because
slipped?
statistics show. Oh, let's go to politics.
Oh,
I
now
love
we're a
that. I mean, do you see
statistics
my
guy.
freaking profile, dude?
No, don't argue statistics.
First
Argue
acts
from
of
the
Congress,
gospel.
1791.
No,
Yeah, you
excuse
think
me.
you're gonna
Okay,
convince
first
me to
acts of
also be
Congress,
racist by
1791.
using
Clearly,
Oh wait, are we
clearly our
arguing?
founders
Are
wanted
we
a Northern
arguing from the
European
gospel
country.
right now?
Matter
or
of fact, they
excuse
said
me?
if you were going to immigrate
Excuse
here,
me,
that
why are
you
you
had to be
arguing
a
outside
free
of the
white person.
gospel?
It's the same thing. It's the same thing,
I
sir.
have all
Wait,
the
Jacob.
verses.
One last question, okay? Have you ever considered?
Oh, he's gone.
What are you guys gonna do about it? You guys getting all insecure about
wait,
the
where
fact
did he
that I'm
go?
loud and proud of my
Where did
religion? You
Zach go?
betas.
That's what he does when he leaves. He does like the Irish.
Dude, my family fought. My family fought in World War One. My family fought in World War Two. I was born in I was born in this country. This is my America.
Jacob,
Gives a fuck.
Jacob,
I'm a Christian nationalist.
bro.
Yeah, you're an idiot.
Well, I'm
Okay, whatever, bro. Keep making insults. They're not getting
You're a
your way.
racist idiot. Like you're a bigot. Like
okay.
Saved.
Hey,
You're
host,
not
can I
even
give you
saved,
those
bro.
verses for the
You're not even
permanent man?
you're not even going to heaven, brother. And you're
No.
over here calling me out. You want to call me out?
the
Sit
funny
down
thing,
and
the funny
shut
thing
the
is,
hell
none of
up.
us are going to heaven.
I'm
No,
happy for you.
that's-
I'm
that's
happy for you to yell, but all the kids at Chuck E. Cheese seem like they're gonna really be upset about it. You said you're at work, right?
I could care less. I'll talk as loud as I want because that's how I talk, and I always talk like that. Matter of fact, I got a conservative
And
queen at my side.
I'm worried about you
She's
getting
the most
fired from
based,
Chuck E. Cheese,
beautiful
bro.
woman.
I'm just worried about your job security.
Own a business. Did you not hear me?
He works at Chuck E. Oh, you work
Are you
at
like
Chuck E.
a- are
Cheese?
you
I own a
indep-
very successful consulting business.
Do you
God's
like-
Dude,
blessed
there's
me,
no,
actually.
there's no. way.
kind
Actually,
of
I'm
things
very
you-
wealthy.
Yeah, I
Hey,
bet you
can
are.
I read those verses, PRK? Because I want to got them.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
so
can- you
last
can
month
read
I
this.
did
I'm-
about
I'm-
You have a
37K.
conservative
Okay, so
queen
nice
by your
try.
side?
I think
Okay,
Jacob
where
is
did he
just-
go? Oh,
Let's just
okay.
get
I thought
off
Jacob
the
was
panel for
gay.
this.
Jacob
No.
DM'd me that he was
he's
gay.
Jacob's entertaining, bro.
Yeah, I
I'm gonna
mean,
let
he's
one more
entertaining
time.
to an extent,
One
but
more
I mean, I
time.
think it's ran its course. Like, let's get to substance.
One more
I mean,
time, but yeah, we'll get to substance. We'll get to substance.
So
Actually, you know what? Yeah, we'll get to
Jacob also
substance.
DM'd me that he was gay, so I don't know what he's talking about. A conservative queen.
he probably is gay. All right, go ahead, Genesis.
So my first would be Titus 2:5. It says women
Titus
are to
wasn't
be
written by Paul.
subject to their own husbands.
Do you have
Titus wasn't written by Paul.
Do you have any letters that Paul actually wrote that says it?
Ephesians 5:22.
Ephesians wasn't probably written by Paul either.
I mean, I can just keep going. 1 Corinthians 14:34.
Is that an
verse is
interpolation?
Should keep
Yeah.
silent in the church.
That's also not written by
That
Paul.
verse is
But
interpolated.
That verse specifically is not written by Paul.
That verse is
So
interpolated.
any verse that
Yo,
disagrees
Genesis.
is not written by
Genesis.
Paul.
This is
No,
called getting
this is
sit
what
down
scholars,
talk in the industry.
Genesis, you have to realize, right? Scholars agree that Paul didn't write several letters that you're talking about. And the verse that you talked about in 1
Who?
Corinthians, although
Name
Paul
one
wrote that
scholar.
letter.
I can give you a survey
Jared
from last year
Rudemont.
at the SBL.
Well, dude,
Yeah,
I'm not
we have a
listening
whole-
to you.
we
You're
can
an
show you a
atheist.
survey.
You're the last.
Yeah, don't listen to the
Yeah,
truth because I'm an atheist.
Well, that's not the
So,
truth.
I mean, we
It's
have a
anything that comes
survey.
from your mouth
We have
is a
a
lie. That's what the
survey.
Bible says. So.
So this
What are you
is the
talking about?
problem.
I have a
Genesis.
survey from the SBL. How is that not the truth?
Well, let's see if you're telling the truth. You're saying Corinthians isn't written by Paul.
That's
No,
not what we're
Corinthians
saying.
is written by Paul. It's not. Corinthians is written by Paul, but the verse that you're specifically talking about in Corinthians was interpolated, meaning that it was changed by some later author.
Yeah,
It
we
wasn't
have that
actually
verse
original
in
to
different
Oh,
locations.
really? I mean, guys, no. I mean, so it just happens to be that all the like Christian scholars and apologists that they all just disagree with you.
Paul. No, Christian
No, they don't
scholars
disagree
also
on
would
that.
agree
They don't
that that's
disagree on that
interpolated.
verse being interpolated. You don't know what you're talking
William
about.
Lane Craig doesn't think that.
No, I bet
Lewis-
William Lane Craig
Well,
does.
it's
think
Bro
that
brings
that
up
verse
bro
is
brings up
interpolated.
Bonson and William Lane Craig.
Wait, hold on,
Interpolated
Genesis.
does not mean it doesn't mean that it was just
You
like
guys-
completely like made up or replaced. It means that
Nobody's
they
saying
added
that.
their own
Nobody's
stuff
saying
into
that.
it.
Nobody's saying
Okay,
that.
what about 1 Peter 3:1? Why
Again,
be
that's
subject
not
to your
that's not
husbands?
written
That
by
was
Paul.
written
I
by
thought
Peter.
you were bringing up verses from Paul, bro.
Yeah,
This
that
is-
was written by Peter. So do you
No,
not
it wasn't
trust
written by Peter. First Peter wasn't
Head of the
written by
church,
Peter.
you not trust Peter?
What's the
I'm
evidence?
getting
Wait,
lost
Let,
right
wait,
now.
Don, 1 second. What's the evidence that Peter wrote First Peter?
What's the evidence that Peter wrote 1 Peter?
Yeah, you know?
When he starts it, he says, "I, Peter." Of the
that's
apostles.
convincing evidence for you. That that I
Well,
how
Peter
else
is
would-
convincing evidence for
I mean,
you.
do you want me to go over all the determining
Wait, no,
evidence?
finish that. How else would you know? Finish it. Finish it.
You know, very few scholars think that Peter actually wrote these books, right?
Yeah,
First and Second
dude.
Peter.
What are you listening to? So the Bible just is fake. None of it actually.
No. Paul is a real
Yes.
person that actually wrote letters. The Apostle Paul.
Did Genesis write Genesis?
No, Moses wrote Genesis.
How do you know that?
Did Moses write Exodus
Because
2?
all the context clues point to Moses, so we know he wrote Exodus.
Did Judges write Judges?
It's not a person.
Was Numbers
did-
written in all numbers?
Did Moses write all the books of the Torah?
What?
Do you think Moses wrote the entire Torah, in your view?
What do you think Torah is?
Yeah, the first 5 books of the Bible.
Yeah, Moses wrote the entire Torah. Yeah.
And so you think Moses recorded his own death?
No. Family
Okay,
member.
so then-
Well, that's in the Torah.
That doesn't exclude though that Moses would have written everything up to probably the end phases. Somebody could
No,
have taken
when
over.
you said that he wrote the entire thing, you misspoke.
Well, he still would have written. I mean, the guy would have written 98% of it. I mean,
Yeah, so when you said he wrote all of it, you were wrong.
And Genesis,
I mean,
what's the evidence
technically,
that
yeah.
Moses wrote it? What's the evidence that Moses wrote it?
well, I'm looking at Peter now because you asked me about Peter.
Okay, yeah, we go to First Peter. Yeah,
No, it's
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. There's a lot of evidence. Irenaeus says Peter wrote First Peter. That's a church father.
yeah. How far after is he saying that?
Yeah,
Origin.
do you even know when Irenaeus wrote?
Yeah, I do know what Irenaeus wrote.
Why don't you
No,
tell the
when
class?
Irenaeus wrote. When he wrote.
It was 180 AD.
Okay,
And when do you think
180.
First Peter was written down?
Long
Peter
time
wrote it.
before that.
Right, before the diaspora, right? Because supposedly Peter was
Doesn't mean
unalive by Nero.
anything. Okay, do you believe
Well,
Alexander
let's
was
just
a real
get clear
person?
here. Peter, you think Peter was unalive by Nero, right?
Peter was crucified upside down.
By Nero, right?
Bro, I was just talking about random shit. Bro, answer the fucking question.
I did.
By Nero, right?
Wait.
No.
By Emperor Nero in the 60s, that's when Peter was unalived, right?
The 60s.
That's when the Neronian persecution took place, and all these Christians were supposedly unalived by Nero. Right? Do you not know the history your church teaches?
I mean, I've never heard that Nero's the one that did this. Or is this in the Bible?
Peter's unalivement isn't in the Bible at all, you jackass.
Yes. Wait. No. That's absolutely not true.
It's not in the Bible.
It is
bro.
true.
It's in mine. It's in mine.
Really? What verse?
Pull up. It's in my Orthodox Study Bible. Look.
Oh my God! Yeah, there's commentary. There's commentary that talks about it. It's not actually in the Bible.
It's not a scripture. There's no scripture in the Bible that talks about Peter's death.
Hold on.
Bro said it's in
I
the
have to
Bible.
confirm this because I've read it in a Bible. So hold up. You might be right.
See, this is the problem, Genesis.
They've been right
no
about
offense,
everything
you're
so
just
far,
very
bro.
ignorant
Do you know
when it
anything
comes
about
to
your
our
Bible?
faith, bro.
Peter's. Well, here's the issue: is that let's go to your initial point. Let's start from your initial point. Let's go all the way down. You said that what did Paul not write?
He didn't write Titus. You brought up Titus. He didn't write that book. That's a forged book in his name, a forged letter in his name.
So Titus shouldn't be in the Bible.
No, it shouldn't be. They falsely canonized it.
So that's
one of the least
Christian
accepted
thinks that on the planet besides you. But let's see if what you're saying is true.
Yeah,
You've been wrong about every point so far. Why?
No, I haven't. I pulled up verse, and it's because he didn't like the verse because it didn't fit his Christianity, his 2% of Christians' Christianity. He didn't like that.
The 2% of Christians that actually the 2% of Christians that are actually operating by evidence, right?
No, that's not true. You don't know.
You didn't say Moses wrote the entire Torah, and then we're wrong.
Your
I don't think you know what
works
evidence
out
is.
good, PRK, because you've really convinced, sir. Your evidence is really good.
Well, you're not going to convince me either.
I've actually convinced people of the resurrection. Bro.
You know what?
Yeah,
I would venture to argue that I probably did more, kind of moving the post in your direction than you have, because I've spent a considerable amount of my time on this app convincing mythicists that Jesus was an actual real person, right? And you haven't done jack shit but be the laughingstock of every atheist on the app.
No, I've absolutely annihilated atheists on this.
Of course you have.
In your mind only.
Mind, because you don't know the basics. You don't know the
With
basics.
facts and truth, I've annihilated.
You think Peter's death was in the scripture, right? You don't know the basics.
I mean, you guys
coming from.
Hold up. This guy said something. He said, "In my mind, sir, do you want to debate?
What do you want to debate on?
The existence of the Christian God. Let's go.
You want to debate that right this moment?
Yeah, let's go.
This is not going to go good for you. Just end it quick, sir.
Okay, all right. Let's do it.
So I'm going to give you my reasoning. Are you ready?
Oh, wait. You guys are letting him dodge of looking up the thing, by the way.
No.
Just so we know.
He said something. I have
Hey, Genesis, actually pipe down, okay? I wasn't talking to you. Okay, I was talking to people I respect.
Well,
so you guys are going to let him dodge?
Christian, dude.
I don't give a fuck about you.
Well, yeah, you're not a Christian. You're like
I am a Christian.
You don't know much about Christianity.
I'm a Christian.
Your fruits show that you're not, though. That's the issue.
Well, your fruits are really, really small. And it's not cold outside.
Damn.
Yeah, he's not Christian. I mean, it's...
Anyways, Genesis, what were we talking about? So we were talking about 1 Peter first. I guess we could just talk about that, and then you could debate Sir on God. But let me just show you that 1 Peter wasn't written by Peter. I guess me and Sir can talk to you about that.
Well, yeah, I'm reading Titus right now because you said that's not written by Paul. So
that's not written by Paul either. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm allowing it to load, and I'm gonna look at this because. Hold on.
Wait, Bible Thumper said she'd be right back. Hopefully not.
Actually,
I just have.
I'm just kidding. I was just kidding. I was just teasing.
In fact, I'm gonna ask this if this is because I've never heard this. In fact,
there's a lot of stuff you've never heard about.
You've never heard that the pastorals are in contention about whether or not Paul wrote them?
From the majority of Christian theologians, this is not accepted.
Well, it depends on what you mean by Christian theologian. If you mean,
I'm referring to Lewis, Sproul, guys.
Yeah, if you mean someone that's has some attachment to a religious institution, yeah, that's probably correct. But if we're talking about secular scholars that are Christian that are experts in the field, no, I mean it's not really contentious.
Secular scholars that are Christian. Interesting.
Yeah, they aren't attached to a religious institution, right?
Yeah, you know what that means?
They work for like a university, you know, but they're also Christian, like those kind of scholars.
Yeah, so scholars who work at universities that are, they overwhelmingly agree that letter's not written by Peter. Yeah, some of the best scholars in the world that are Christian agree.
Well,
with
he was
that,
talking
like
about
James
Titus.
Gunn. Oh,
yeah, I'm speaking
Titus.
about Titus right now.
Okay, yeah, Titus. Yeah, same thing there.
No, this says that, Paul wrote Titus. That
Okay, according to who?
A servant of God and apostle Jesus
Wait,
Christ.
what says that? What are you talking about?
What source says that?
And it says this is why.
It's the AI overview, guys.
Apostolic authority, Pauline theological language, Pauline missionary context, knowledge.
What's the source? What's the source?
He's just reading right now.
I know, but like, what? Click on a source and tell us what it says.
I know, I'm getting there right now. Be patient. Okay, I can give you church father sources.
Yeah, we just talked about them, right? Like Irenaeus is Irenaeus the earliest one?
You guys don't take church fathers seriously?
Why would we?
Okay, so you're an atheist. You don't take anything. I don't.
Yeah, but even me, right?
I don't take anything. What?
Why would I take church fathers seriously?
You're like a non-legitimate speaker. So I don't.
Sir takes dick.
This guy just like sits around and like floats in the air and thinks that atheists just don't exist or something. Like, what's wrong with you?
That's what you guys think. You think that something just came from nothing.
Wait, do you do that voice on purpose, or are you trying to sound like Nick Fuentes when he's very tired?
What atheist ever heard says something comes from nothing?
You have to think that.
No, what atheist have you heard say that?
Well, have you ever studied cosmology?
What? That's a question, dumb fuck.
No, I'm asking.
Well, I'm gonna guess that you're gonna butcher what the Big Bang is in a few seconds, but no, I haven't studied cosmology in depth, but I know that the Big Bang is not talking about an absolute beginning of the universe. Is that what you think the Big Bang is talking about?
Then you're wrong. You
want to bet $100?
Yeah.
You want to bet $100?
Well, you're talking to somebody that did. So
do you want to bet $100,
bro? Yo, Genesis,
you're wrong.
You look so dumb. Just Google it.
No,
the Big Bang is about the expansion of the universe. That's all. I mean, whether or not it's the beginning, right, is debated, and the very small minority of cosmologists thinks the Big Bang is the beginning. Like something like less than 10%. Most of them, like 25-30%, are agnostic, and then the larger majority of them think it's not about the beginning of the universe.
It has to be the beginning.
Oh my God, you're too stupid to insult.
No, dude. I mean, look, you just make personal attacks down there. I mean, you don't actually say anything.
Yeah, there's nothing of substance to attack. What else is left?
Look, you're not a Christian. You need to go. I'm not talking to you.
Yeah, you're not a Christian.
No, the captain state the obvious is impossible to underestimate yet again.
Look, you're not an atheist, so you have no grounds for intelligibility, so we shouldn't listen to what you have to say.
That's not even tag. You just butchered tag. That's not even what tag states.
Yeah, tag's about God, dumb fuck. He said you're not an atheist. Of course it's not tag.
I mean, you understand that you're going to hell. Not
every time you make a statement, you're just borrowing from our worldview.
Would a Christian talk like this, Mon?
Would an atheist talk like this? Yeah. You're not an atheist.
Yeah, fact, you were talking like this to that girl that was on the panel earlier.
You know what's sad is that the atheist is actually.
You know what's sad is you think that dinosaurs were alive 1,000 years ago.
You know what's sad is that you're not an atheist. We can tell you're not an atheist.
That's a joke.
I can tell you're not an atheist by the way by the size of your fruit.
I thought this was dumb.
By the size of your fruit.
Came up with
Look, we need to get on to what's serious.
Hey Bobby, stop ducking me, okay? Leave.
Look, if you didn't get on to the tag, I'll get on the tag.
Dude, if anything, we're trying to educate you that Paul.
We're trying to help you, bro.
We were trying to help you, and
I don't want your help.
We've just shown you.
Wait, Genesis, what did you ask? I had to provide a grounding for what?
Yeah, what is the ground of being? What is the foundation?
What do you mean by ground?
What is that in which brings all other truths together and makes them possible?
What is that brings all truths together and makes them possible?
Yeah.
Are you asking me how I figure out what is true and what isn't true?
Yeah.
Yeah,
what makes them absolutely true? That's what I'm asking.
Well, if you're already stipulating he has truth, I don't really understand what the question is.
Well, because you don't understand tag. But
you just granted that he already has truth, and now you
no, I didn't. I didn't say he already had truth. I'm asking him how he determines.
But it's like Nick Fuentes and Cade
so you
Brady
are
had a
asking
baby.
him how he determines. Okay.
Yeah, that's a different question than I thought. I didn't even think that's what tag was. You're just asking me how I like
decide if things are true.
Justify truth?
Yeah.
Yes, it's to show you something.
Well, I mean, presumably I have some sort of like steps that I go through depending on what the claim is that shows that it does or doesn't cohere to reality. That would kind of be the way.
Wait, guys,
this guy that runs a multi-million-dollar company just gifted Genesis 17 cents. Oh my god.
Yeah, why don't you tip him the big gifts?
Tip him a big one, you fucking cheapskate son of a fucking
tip him
bitch.
like a lion or something.
Yeah, give him a lion like that's in your suit.
Genesis, we're trying to get you coins. Tip him like a lion.
Tip him like a lion.
Yeah.
I don't really care.
He said quietly and sheepishly, like a bitch might do.
I don't really care.
No. What I'm asking you is,
you sound defeated.
Here, I'll make it.
It's probably like whenever you talk about God, it's probably like the trail of tears away from the kingdom of heaven. You've probably led people more away from God than
that's probably true, actually. Yeah.
Yo, you know what's funny is Jacob's been in the request for like 10 minutes and he hasn't left the request box. He's just waiting.
Yeah, but I mean, Mon, the reality is it actually would be better.
Jacob said, "I do what I want with my money."
Myself as if I were to conduct myself as a Christian my entire life and lead 5 people to God, and you were to conduct yourself the way you do, which isn't Christ-like, and you were to lead 10 people to God,
bro, you believe in false things. Wait, do you think believing in false things?
You just led 5 people you led 10 people to God, but you died and you went out because it's clear you're not a Christian. I led only 5.
How is it clear that any?
Can I reduce this real quick?
He's talking to me.
Let's say that there's a world where somebody lives as a Christian and profusely teaches the gospel and runs tag, and they lead 2 people to Christ. And then there's world B, where a person lives as a dirty, filthy, hedonistic, nihilistic atheist. And everybody, because of that person, is motivated to believe in the gospel and they go to heaven. You're saying God likes the first world better than the second world?
God prefers somebody who is
the first world, right?
Just
say it. I don't need the filler.
Yeah, I said God prefers somebody who is faithful to him.
Yeah, so God prefers the world where one person is a Christian and convinces one person to go to heaven, rather than one person is an atheist and everybody goes to heaven. God prefers the first world?
God already knows that not everybody will go to heaven.
Doesn't answer the fucking question. You realize
you're giving hypotheticals
that what you're going to say sounds so
impossible.
stupid that you're actually sprinting away from the answer.
No,
he doesn't. He can't even engage with hypotheticals.
You guys are just atheists. I mean, you're not even.
Oh my God! Another
guys in here,
bro.
You guys are just atheists. Wow, you're just a Christian.
Do you eat crayons?
Yeah. Good personal attack. That's biblical.
Yo, Genesis, you're just a Christian. Oh, bird.
Genesis, which world is better in the eyes of God? One believer convincing one person? Hey, Genesis, which world is better to God? World A, where one believer convinces one person to go to heaven? Or world B, where one hedonistic atheist convinces everyone to go to heaven? Which one?
World B is not possible to exist.
Oh, what's the logical contradiction? Go ahead, you dumb.
Because world B contradicts the revelation of God. That's the contradiction.
People have the choice to believe, right? People have the choice to believe, yes or no? People have the choice to believe, yes or no? People have the choice to believe, yes or no?
God says narrow.
Bro, this guy gives authority to
Jacob, actually, I'm gonna actually need you to pipe down, or you're gonna get banished to the shadow realm of the comments again. Okay?
Oh, not Jacob.
Yes or no?
Yeah, this guy gives authority to atheists, and he's an egalitarian feminist. I mean, seriously, you think women should be preaching?
You're gay.
You heretic.
Like, you gay.
You guys are coming at him for Peter. Literally, Peter acknowledges that he wrote Peter. I mean, what does it say? Peter,
my cousin,
an apostle of Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that's good evidence. That's good evidence. Peter wrote Peter because he said
my dad
says it. It says it on the letter.
And we have the church fathers to back up the historical.
That's a level of evidence.
Even Peter says he wrote Peter. Even Jacob says he's a millionaire. I mean,
do we think Paul wrote 3 Corinthians? I mean, I'm just curious, panel. What do you guys think? Do you guys think Paul wrote 3 Corinthians?
I have no idea. I'm not a Bible nerd like you idiots.
Who cares what they think?
Dude, you're not even saved. You have no authority to be speaking on topics like this, dude.
Wait, Genesis, what did you say about 3 Corinthians?
Third Corinthians doesn't exist.
Oh, it does exist. Paul
No,
claims
it
he wrote
doesn't.
it. Yes, Third Corinthians.
Search up Third Corinthians.
You're
Search up Third
calling something
Corinthians, bro.
Third Corinthians.
Just
Yeah,
Google
search
it.
it up. Search it up.
Third
Oh my God, this guy's been
Yeah,
sit down
look it up.
fucked on every point of substance.
Third Corinthians.
Search
Yes. Third
Okay,
Corinthians.
Yo,
Search it up.
Jacob, you want any stake in this game before you get walk bitch too?
Things, we'll talk. Okay.
Wait, look
He's
it up.
pronounced
Third.
it fine.
Yeah,
Third
no, I'll look it up.
Corinthians.
I'll look it up.
Bro said no personal attacks.
Wait,
Like,
hold
Genesis,
on, Zach,
do
hold
you
on.
I
genuinely
didn't
Zach,
make
I
a
want-
personal attack.
Do you genuinely
Hold on.
believe? Yeah.
Can we wait, please? Genesis.
Yeah,
look up third.
we're gonna see.
Yeah, look it up.
Yeah, you don't know.
I wonder what the coke's gonna be when he realizes.
Corinthians.
Yep, it's a letter outside of the Bible that's claimed to be by Paul. Do you think Paul wrote
Yeah,
it?
so it's not in the Bible. Doesn't exist.
I didn't say it was.
Yeah. Well, let's not talk about things that aren't.
Okay,
In the
so in virtue of the author claiming to be Paul, or in virtue of the author claiming to be Peter, is not reason enough. To
so
think they
I just
wrote it.
wanted to make sure I had the
said
second
that's a
name because
level of evidence. I didn't say that's the whole.
Clement of Rome and Irenaeus also acknowledged that Paul wrote Corinthians. Just to
They don't
put
care.
it out.
We agree that Paul wrote
Irenaeus, you
Corinthians.
dumb
We
fuck.
think Paul wrote
We already
Corinthians.
agree that Paul wrote Corinthians.
Talk
Jacob,
about-
they don't think that the church fathers existed. They don't.
We
care.
know. We
No,
These
what
guys
you
are
talking
dense.
about?
Don't even waste
You're
your time with
so
these heretics.
Oh my
Bro,
goodness.
you guys gave us the warning twice. You should be fucking
women
off
have-
right now.
Yeah, women don't have any
Oh my
authority
goodness.
in the church. You guys are so.
verse, Jacob, let me educate you really quickly. Every verse that Genesis just brought up about Paul saying that women have lower authority than men was not written by Paul.
Yes, it
because
was.
There were letters forged in his name or
That's who forged
verses that were later
lie.
interpolated.
Who
So
forged
Titus
them?
was not
that's-
for. Bro,
that's
you don't
what
even
it
believe
is. So
Titus
Paul
should be
didn't
in the
even write
Bible.
that.
You're a
You
heretic.
forged them.
You think that
Who
Paul
forged
wrote
them?
these
911,
letters
dude.
and he
You're
didn't
a
write the
heretic,
letters?
bro.
He
Did
didn't
he say
write the letters.
911?
I said John 1:1. You're a
John
heretic.
11. I thought he said 911.
What's John 1:1
Well-
say, sir? What's John 1:1 say? Read it to me, buddy. Read it to me, good boy.
No,
Wait,
What?
wait. It sounds like a slur when he says it.
yeah.
Either
Okay,
way,
so-
right? So
A good little
Genesis-
atheist. Be a good little atheist and read me John
Genesis,
1:1.
did you find Third Corinthians yet?
Of course you won't read it. Of
Doesn't
course you
exist.
won't read it. Because you hate.
I'm not reading something that's not in the Bible. We're talking
Yo,
about
sir,
Bible.
sir, just kick him again, please.
No, but
no.
did you
I
not-
want to keep him up.
Yeah, a lot of people.
Dude, you
a lot of
hate
people
the
like him.
Bible, bro.
Jacob, just wait. Just wait a minute, please. Okay, I'm asking you.
They're trying to pin. They're trying to like.
Genesis, hold on.
Holy
Good Lord.
Dude, I know
I got
what
it.
they're doing. That I'm well
No,
aware.
Genesis. Look, you guys made a claim that because the letter claims to be by the person, that's good. That's good reason to think they wrote it, right? But you're not applying that same logic to text not in the Bible, right?
The
Because we
funny
have several.
thing is that I actually didn't claim that. I said it was a level of evidence. It was a level of supporting evidence. It's not the whole thing.
Okay,
That's
so
not
what
the-
other-
No,
evidence-
that's actually you said. Look, First Peter. You read the first verse. You're like, look, it even claims to be by Peter. Blah blah blah. As if that's like enough to motivate us to think Peter wrote it.
I gave you the reasons why I believe Paul wrote Titus.
Okay, why is that?
Okay, here's my reasons, and I'll give you the sources. Apostolic authority,
Okay, let's
holy
start there.
theological
Let's
language.
go
Let's
one by
start with
one.
apostolic
Let's go one by
authority.
The knowledge of Titus as a
Genesis.
Let's start with apostolic authority, right? Let's not gish gallop, right? So what people say Paul wrote Titus? Who's the first person?
Clement of Alexandria.
That's in the 3rd century.
It's irrelevant. It
How is that
passes down
irrelevant? That's
oral
over.
tradition
That's
from people
200
who knew
years
Paul the
after the
Apostle.
fact. That's 200 years later that somebody.
By the way, why didn't you
That's
say
irrelevant.
Irenaeus? Irenaeus said
Then
Paul wrote
Alexander the
Titus.
Great isn't a real person because we have nothing
What?
written about him until hundreds years after him. I guess
That's
You
that's
think
not.
that's
That's not how that
analogous?
works.
That's actually it's also not true, bro.
No, that is true. Provide a
How that isn't true?
first-hand account of Alexander.
Yeah,
the Great.
I'm reading a sticky note right now that says I am Alexander the Great. I wrote this. Like, what more do you
Yeah,
want?
okay, dude. Yeah, you're a troll. Anyways, yeah. Look, it was passed down through.
Going to hell.
Wait, I got
tradition.
it. Wait. I got a better question.
There were
for you.
church fathers that knew Paul that passed. it
How
down.
did Clement of Alexandria know that Paul wrote that letter? How about that?
Clement of Alexandria would have received through apostolic succession and oral tradition? He would have received that Paul had written this from people who knew Paul previously and knew Paul and so forth.
Who might that be? Why don't you walk us through the chain?
Okay, I don't have the tree memorized. I can pull up the tree. I don't have it memorized.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Put it in the comment section. These are also people that acknowledge that Paul wrote Titus. You idiots.
Jacob,
you gosh darn idiots.
Justin Martyr,
Uranius as well, and Tertullian also acknowledged that Paul wrote Titus.
No, Justin Martyr.
So Paul acknowledged that he wrote Titus.
Justin
Martyr.
Hello, you're full of shit. Justin Martyr absolutely does not say Paul wrote Titus. Absolutely.
That's not for. No, that's for Peter. Goofball.
So can we just appreciate? Can we just take a second?
Hey,
can we just take a second?
I gave Tertullian. I gave Irenaeus Clement of Alexandria for Paul, and I gave 3 for Peter as well. You guys are dead.
Jacob,
okay, we can start with that.
You're retarded.
Hey, hold on, Jacob. How long has it been since
you? I gotta go back to work.
How long has it been since
Jacob,
you preached the gospel before you leave? You left the panel, didn't preach the gospel. Bro,
Jacob,
what are you doing?
He didn't preach the gospel. Right. Instead, he said, "Who wrote Peter and Paul?" Like,
how are they going to know that they're going to hell, bro?
Yeah. Fuck you! I'm going back to work.
I have the list.
That guy's great.
Yeah, that guy's entertainment, bro.
Fuck honestly. You! I'm going back to work.
And he said the R slur.
Either way, right? So
we have to get that one out too.
We can go through the people. So Clement of Alexandria. So yeah, let's talk about that.
I said Clement of Rome. I didn't say Alexandria. I said Clement of Rome.
Clement of Rome doesn't say anything about Titus. I don't believe. I think you're wrong.
Clement of Rome knew Paul, and he affirms he actually.
Well, there's some confusion there. The author of First Clement does talk about Paul and does quote from 1 Corinthians and does mention the Corinthians letter. He also mentions the Romans letter and quotes the Romans letter. But the author of 1 Clement is not one person; it's a group of people. It's not actually Clement of Rome. That's a later church tradition. Have you read the letter?
No, it doesn't matter. Clement knew Paul directly.
Have you read 1 Clement?
Yeah, Paul mentions Clement in Philippians.
Have you read 1 Clement?
If you've ever read the Bible, you'd know that he mentions Clement of Rome.
I know he does, but the author of 1 Clement is not Clement of Rome. Have you read 1 Clement?
Yeah, I'm not sourcing 1 Clement.
Yes, you just did.
No, I'm not. I never even said the word 1 Clement. You asked me to give you a list of people who directly knew Paul, and so I'm giving you a list of people who.
Well, no. We're talking about witnesses to Paul writing Titus.
Okay, well then you need to be more specific with the questions that you ask, because that's
what we were talking about.
But that's not the initial question.
Well, sir, you're just gonna ask me your questions as like IQ level, right?
Okay, my bad. Let's see. How can I dumb this down? Who say Paul write Titus? Who say that?
I mean, dude, if you're just gonna be disrespectful,
yo, Genesis, we're gonna walk bits right now.
You came up here and told me that like I'm some kind of piece of shit, that I'm going to hell, all this stuff.
No, right? I actually never said that. I did say you're going to hell because that's what.
Well, fuck you. You're going to hell.
Well, no, actually, I'm not, because I've accepted Christ.
Well, you don't know anything about this.
You're still going to hell. I'm just gonna say it. You're going to hell.
Well, I'm not gonna take word from you.
You're gonna go to hell, and I'm not.
Okay, I mean, if that's what you think in your carnal mind, fine.
Yeah, you're gonna burn in hell.
Okay.
Yeah.
And guess what? There's gonna be a lot of gay stuff down there, and you're gonna hate it.
There's gonna be gay things happening to you in hell.
Not to you, not without your consent. Just in the vicinity, but you're still gonna be creeped out.
You're gonna be in the room with gay stuff happening.
Yeah, and there's gonna be gay girls. So it's like the carnal pleasure of your flesh is gonna be tempted because you want what you can't have. But it's just. Wait, would you rather have $1 million, and then go to hell, or in hell? So you die, right, and you get $50 million and 500 years left to live to spend it, or when you die you immediately go to hell, but you get a Rubik's cube. Which one?
That's actually a good question, because the answer is not as obvious as people think.
It's not as obvious as people think. That's why it's a good question.
Yeah, that's exactly what he said, Zach. Go ahead, Genesis.
Yeah, Genesis, go ahead.
Which one would you pick?
Yeah, so PRK is this.
ChatGPT is not going to help you with this question.
It's like a personal question. That won't have actually a conversation, but they'll just make personal tags.
All right, let's get back to the substance. I mean,
well, Genesis, you opened the door. That's the problem.
Yeah. I didn't. Okay, what door did I open to?
The door to hell.
Hypotheticals. What door did I open?
Listen, I don't have to defend what they say. There's reason why they don't, they're not having the similar conversation with Pruk, right? There's a reason. So what's the difference here?
That's actually very insightful.
Herbal's right. We're actually opening the back door.
The reason is that on a Christian live, we shouldn't be making a joke of hell or degrading people.
Look, there it is. You're pretending to answer the question. You said the reason is, and then you just started saying something else that wasn't an answer to the question.
Well, because I'm going off my initial statement. What he had asked me was irrelevant to my initial statement.
So you agree you're not answering the question?
Oh my gosh, bro.
You agree?
Look, I'm not talking about the Rubik's Cube or gay people and how
not that question.
That's irrelevant to me. Yeah, but
Justin
his question is irrelevant
why
to
do we
my
treat
initial
different?
statement.
We got a galaxy.
There you
Corns
go.
on top.
That's $3.
There you go.
Oh, we got some corns and some gummy bears on top. Holy shit, Genesis! It's time
Let's
to retire.
Let's go.
Oh my God, more corn.
Wait. This is actually demonic messaging to support the corn industry. Jacob's
Wait,
not
you gotta say, tasty corn. Go ahead.
I love watching people eat corn.
Galaxy smells good.
Thanks, Jacob.
Wow,
I appreciate
what a big bang with that corn. The galaxy.
So Genesis, you convinced them. So, is your goal today to convince them that the Bible is written by the people you understand it to be written by? Is that your goal?
My initial goal of coming in here initially was to obviously first see what was going on, and now that I know there is an atheist up here, my goal is to have him become a Christian.
Okay, so is that the best path for that? Is to debate who wrote the different books of the Bible?
No, that's actually not a good path to go down.
No,
Okay.
but so this also started with him trying to show verses from Paul specifically, like particularly misogynistic verses.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
but,
misogyny,
women.
that's not even a real thing, dude. I mean, let's
Okay,
not.
so this is the problem.
I just
but
don't feel like
anyways.
you're picking your battles, bro.
Are you a liberal, though? Because that would be unchristian.
Oh my God. What
I'm
does it
just saying,
matter?
I'm
This
not
guy
I'm
is
not
out of his
conservative,
mind.
but I would point
What
out
does it
that-
matter, man?
Well, it
Do you
does
just go?
matter.
Is your job to like go through every live on TikTok and give them your opinion that no one really cares about?
My job as a Christian is that.
Dude, listen, man, that's a perfectly sound question. Any
Yeah, it is, I mean-
egalitarian is a heretic.
Not at all.
Okay?
That's
Who
Paul
thinks
didn't
women
even
have
write the
authority in the
letters he
country?
wrote.
You got manipulated into sending that dude a galaxy. How's that feel, bro?
I sent him a
You're
galaxy
so emotional. You're so emotional. They literally
he's
just
an ally of.
they played you like a puppet,
Bad, you're a brokey, bro. Sorry, I didn't send you a
I put my
galaxy,
hand
bro.
up your
Yeah,
ass and I worked you like a puppet.
manipulate him. I didn't even ask for it. He just sent it to me.
No,
we
God bless
manipulated
my
him.
business.
We're not talking
dude.
about you.
God
you
is
you're
good.
so stupid.
We manipulated him into sending it, is what Justin's saying.
Well,
Yeah, obviously.
Well, that's-
Felt like
that would be
sending him a
weird.
galaxy,
You
so
don't-
I
you
sent
can't
him one.
prove
Had
that.
nothing to do with you schmucks. You egalitarian beta males who think women have authority in the church.
Sure.
You think little Brittany's got authority in the church?
What do you mean, little Brittany? Why are you being so weird?
Why can't she be Big Brittany?
Yeah. Why can't you be regular size, regular age Brittany?
Whitney, bitch.
Yeah.
Women,
Yo, Jake. Yo, that's weird.
women
Jacob's
don't have
talking about
authority
young
in the
girls.
church.
That's
It's
weird.
clear.
So just to be clear, Jacob's best evidence that Paul wrote Titus is Irenaeus, which comes 100 years after the fact.
And PRK,
and we
don't
don't
forget
even
that
know
when
why
he
he-
read it.
What
when
irrelevant,
Jacob read it.
dude. That's
Sorry, Jacob.
irrelevant,
Sorry,
bro.
Jacob. When Jacob read it off Google, he said Irenaeus.
in all,
He's not
in
even
all-
familiar.
Hey, it's
in all fairness,
been passed
though,
down by oral tradition.
Yeah, you
That's
have
been
What's
passed
his name? Is it
down
Irenaeus
by
or
oral
Irenaeus?
tradition, and
Yeah,
I
you
can
have
pronounce it
to-
however I want, buddy.
you have
That's
to
irrelevant, bro.
respect
Stop,
the
like, just
succession, and if you don't,
Acknowledge
you
the
should.
actual historian. Don't just come
Jacob, could
after
you
the
defend-
way I said
He's
it.
not a
Acknowledge
historian.
the historian.
Jacob, could you defend it outside of the Bible? Could you just defend it on moral basis alone that women ought not lead in the church?
Yeah, no, yeah. Well, first of all, hold up. Can
That's
I?
what
can
I'm more interested in
I
that.
want to hold up.
He
Jacob,
asked me, Genesis. Hold on, my turn. My turn, because I got to go back to work in a second here. Let me defend
Jacob,
it.
pipe down the
Okay,
men
so
are talking.
women's hormones fluctuate every single day. Therefore,
Men
they're
don't.
constantly, they're emotional creatures that have no ability to have authority or leadership because
I wonder who's the most emotional
hormones are
person on the
constantly
panel.
fluctuating. Men's hormones do not
Bro,
fluctuate
no way this
daily.
guy's ever made a hormone.
These women are so emotional.
What?
Blah blah
Okay,
blah
that's
blah
not
blah blah.
Christian.
I'm not emotional. The women are. Rah.
You think emotional people should be leaders? Hell nah. I'm a leader because I'm not emotional. I'm a rational person.
Bro's a walking meme. Your profile picture is a lion in a suit. You're an ass clown.
Jacob, what's your face look like? Can we see your face while you
Yeah,
yell?
let's see the face.
You seem very not emotional. We can tell.
Hey man, I got 100K followers for a reason, bro. I'm not ugly. I'll tell you that much.
Does your face turn red when you yell?
I just talk loud, man. I mean, I talk loud everywhere. I lead at 2 churches.
In this conversation right now, face down, ass up in this conversation.
Bro, I give speeches at churches and I give them this loud. You got a problem with it? You ever see Anthony Phillips? You hate him too?
I don't know.
Man,
If he's
I
like
can't
you,
believe
he's
you're
probably like
speeches.
feminine.
No.
Oh, you believe in
Jacob,
egalitarian?
I know
you're
talking
the
about-
feminine
Because
one.
I believe in
You
what
think
Paul
women have
teaches.
authority in the church?
Yo,
you beta
Jacob,
male.
do you
Based on-
Jacob, I think you're the
bro.
feminine one because you're a bitch.
You think women have authority in the church? You're the real beta male and
Wait,
beta
not in the
male, and
church.
God smites
Why
you.
would I care about the church, Jacob? I'm a dirty atheist.
Not even Christian?
You're not Christian.
Genesis, look at all these non-Christians backing up a heathen who thinks that egalitarianism is the truth, and who thinks
You
that
try
the
to
church
provide
fathers are
verses
irrelevant.
for supporting
blunder,
this from
bro.
letters that Paul didn't write, and then you brought up Irenaeus, and we don't even know why Irenaeus thinks Paul wrote the letter. So
And he
nice
said
job.
Arrhenius.
Okay, I will bring up. You want me to bring up his writings and put it on the back while I'm teleporting and
No,
working?
I want to know why
I got a
Irenaeus-
restriction. Did you see that, Prook?
You said what?
I just got a restriction. Did you? Was that for me?
Yeah, but that's fine. I've been
Should I-
getting like tens of like a bunch of.
I think
restrictions.
Jacob, you need to relax, buddy. You're getting people.
Yeah.
You're getting China.
I love talking loud. I got high test levels, bro. We get things done over here, boy.
I think it's all the blatant sexism that you're doing that's like against TOS. It's not.
I don't think he. Yeah, but how is he a sexist?
Oh,
Because you
women,
have to
don't say nothing to me.
substantiate
Go back to the kitchen and make a
See,
sandwich.
this is the problem.
Go
Some
back to the
fake
kitchen and
author,
make a
Genesis, you're
sandwich.
asking how
some
he's a
fake
sexist?
author in like the second century
don't-
wrote a bunch
yeah,
of
I'm asking,
misogynistic
how is he
stuff,
a
and now these
sexist?
people
But did you hear
believe
what he
it because
just
they
said?
haven't even studied
Go
it.
back to the kitchen and make a
They haven't
sandwich?
studied it. They
Yeah.
don't know that Paul
Hey,
writes.
don't-
all right.
Okay,
All right,
first
I was-
of all, don't talk to her like that, or I'll kick you.
Yeah,
Like,
for real.
Be nice
Yeah.
to her.
The
Yeah,
white knight.
be a good little boy.
So
okay?
because I told her to do her role
Exactly,
within
yeah,
scripture,
Yeah, your role is to get in the comments, buddy. Go.
Well, I don't know if her role is just to make sandwiches. I don't know if that's her purpose.
yeah, well, that's
of
more
creation.
for. Well, what do you think her role is to be in the job
You know what
market
I
and have
find
authority over
interesting
the
is that I'm
church?
actually scrambling meat and eggs on the stove while having this conversation, and you, a man, cannot multitask and do your job and talk at the same time. Can you walk and chew gum, I wonder?
Literally teleporting,
Well, no,
working while doing
Right.
it. What are you
I'm
talking
literally
about?
teleporting.
Produce,
Teleporting.
but
Bro said I'm literally
not
teleporting.
to just make sandwiches. all
Genesis-
day, right?
Genesis-
Wait,
Wait, Jacob, real quick. Just cuck back into the shadows of your work, okay? We don't need you.
Anyways, Jacob. So yeah, what's the evidence that Irenaeus
He doesn't know who that
understands
is. You
why
gotta call
Paul
him
wrote
Arrhenius.
that letter?
You just found out about Irenaeus today.
no, I didn't. What are you talking about? I'm
He
just
probably calls
working,
him. He
dude.
probably calls him Papayas. You know.
Bring up his writings where he clearly acknowledges Paul as the writer
Real
of Titus.
quick, without thinking, tell me the name of the famous 5-volume book that Irenaeus wrote. See how long it's taking him to respond because he's looking
He's
it up.
stunlocked. He's actually. He just got.
I mean, that
Oh
is
my
that's
God,
not
look at
really
that.
relevant.
If-
You could
oh,
The teacup.
have a.
Oh,
The
no.
teacup.
Bro, Genesis, you stand for this cuck?
I don't agree with everything that he says, but I mean, I
Didn't
agree
ask
with,
that.
with points that he makes.
Yeah, I didn't ask that.
Well, what did you ask?
Do you stand for this cuck?
Do I stand for this cuck?
Stand like fangirl.
funny when
I
Genesis
think
says it.
in some aspects, yeah, Jacob's respectable. I mean, he won't back down from what he believes. That's a respectable
And
trait.
you think like that's like always a good thing? What if you have a wrong belief?
If you have a wrong belief,
Yeah,
well,
let's say
can
that
tell
I, as an atheist, won't back down from my belief. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? It's a bad thing.
you, eternally, like ultimately, that's a bad thing. That's going to end up bad.
Yeah.
But I can tell you right now, I respect atheists more than agnostics because atheists have enough balls to at least make a a positive statement.
Oh, you're one of those people who think that atheists are making a negative belief claim or something.
Yeah, atheists, when you say that we're in a world without God, then that's an opposite world of a world with God. That is a belief. Atheism is a belief.
And do you think that the Christian God is revelatory? Like he wants to be known?
Yeah, absolutely. The Christian God has made himself clear.
He has? Okay, so then here's the argument. If God exists, if the Christian God exists, I would know it. I don't know it, therefore the Christian God doesn't exist. Easy, your God's dead.
No, you do know it. You're just
I'm just suppressing the truth and righteousness. Yeah. I predicted your script?
Well, you've predicted what the Bible says, not my script, God's script.
What do you think about somebody who can correctly predict what the Bible says? They're like a god or not?
No, it would tell me that you have heard the verse, but it doesn't mean you're a god.
Wait, do you think you can know something without believing in it? Like do you know 2 + 2 = 4, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but you also believe that it equals 4, right? Because in order to have knowledge, you need to have a true belief.
I appreciate you not letting people talk crap about me.
Yeah, go away.
Yeah, so it's called against heresies, and you
and go away. I was
okay. You don't want to actually address the point. You just want to insult.
It took you 5 minutes to find that. Holy fuck!
Yeah, so
just working. I'm taking phone calls, sir. I already knew. I'm just working.
You were teleporting.
Genesis.
I thought you had a teleportation device.
Yo, Genesis.
I am constantly answering.
Yo, Jacob, it's actually not your turn.
Jacob, you can come back up, but you have an echo. That's the only reason.
Just like I was saying, do you think that if you know something, it's also true that you believe?
It's called against heresies. Can you acknowledge it?
Actually, it's not your turn. You're not the most important person in the room, okay?
Genesis, they're not acknowledging it. They're not acknowledging that he clearly recognizes that Paul wrote Titus and against heresies.
Oh my goodness! Why do you think
nobody is denying that Irenaeus claimed that?
You guys are falling for it, bro. You guys are falling.
In fact, I told Genesis that a minute ago when he said Clement of Alexandria was the first.
No, I said Clement of Rome. That's what I said.
Wait, Genesis, what do you
talk about Titus, bro?
Yeah, so
much confusion. When we're talking about Titus, I asked you who's the witness of Titus. You said Clement of Alexandria, and I said,
know, but I
said, why wouldn't you say Irenaeus? He was first, right? I said this like an hour ago.
Yeah, but I never said.
I clearly mentioned him first, so why aren't you coming?
No, you didn't. No, you didn't. I said
it was the first one I mentioned. Yes, it was in the text.
Okay,
I know. We had the conversation like 15 minutes before that.
Look, dude, this guy under me was asking me something.
Yeah, I was. Yeah, go ahead.
What were you saying?
Yeah, so like if we're talking about knowledge in like a justified true belief kind of way, then the things that you know, it follows that you believe those things, right?
No, it doesn't. I can give you an example right now.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. For instance, if I go to Cedar Point, I know that this specific roller coaster is statistically safe, but I don't believe it'll be safe when I get on it. So that doesn't follow.
Well, and you don't know it.
Then you don't know it.
No, you do, because you know
is there a chance that you're wrong?
The statistical probability is that you will be safe.
Wait, Genesis, I'm trying to point out.
You still deny you
is
will
there a
be
chance?
safe.
Is there a chance that it's not safe, the roller coaster?
The fact is the ride's safe. If you have a 99%,
is there a chance that the ride's not safe?
Yeah, there's a
is there a chance that God did not make his existence known to me?
No.
No, okay, so there's the symmetry breaker, okay? In one case there's room for doubt, and in another case there's not. The things that you know for certain, you also believe those things. Like 2 + 2 = 4 is a better example because it can never not equal 4, right? And
I can give you a biblical example.
Well, I don't want one. I want you to stay with me on this train, and then you can give me a biblical example after.
Try to break this down, though.
Wait. It's actually not your turn. Okay, you can go after I go, but I just want to stay with me until I finish this one point. So the things like 2 + 2 = 4, when you say you know that, it just entails that you believe it, because what would it mean to know it if you didn't believe it?
Okay, well now I have to say what I've said. That's what I was trying to...
No. But do you agree? Do you agree?
But I can't respond to you because I was trying to respond to an earlier point, and you didn't let me. So I kept trying to interrupt you.
Okay. Sorry. Go ahead.
Okay, maybe my example is bad because I was using statistics and probability. But for instance, I think that any Christian can attest to this. You know for a objective fact that God will forgive your sins no matter what. He says He will. But you in your heart might not believe that he will because of your guilt and shame, but you know that he will. You know he will by his word, but you refuse to believe it because of pride. But you know it's true because I've actually dealt with this before and I knew it to be true, yet I didn't want to accept it because of pride.
Yeah, so it just seemed to me that if God wants us to know about him, right, and knowing about him entails believing about him, then it just seems the case that your job's done. Like there are no atheists.
So it would go back to the example I just gave. An atheist knows deep down, due to many factors, that God exists.
Yeah,
but their pride keeps them from being willing to admit
they also believe it. They also believe it because they know it.
No, you don't have to necessarily believe. I mean, think about like knowledge would just be what your mind accepts is true, based on the evidence you've seen.
Really?
But I'd say belief. Yeah. So I would say belief would be what your heart accepts is true enough to act on. So I think.
Well, how does that get it? Well, okay. I don't want to. I want to let you guys get back to like the biblical stuff because I took a derail, but I think that there's an argument that can be made here that's if God wants you to know and knowing entails believing, then it's either the case that there are no atheists or there is no God. That's the two horns.
No, being an atheist. See, the issue. Many people think that an atheist is somebody that legitimately knows there's no God. No, there's no atheist that knows. So that would be insane.
Okay, so when you say the hard claim, the atheist claim we're in a not God world, they're just they're not making a knowledge claim there.
Yeah, they're making a very flimsy claim because none of that. Yet when you make the claim we're in a non-God world, this is a claim that you actually have to substantiate. That's a positive claim. You have to substantiate that. And if it can't be substantiated, then it cannot be true. And it's yet to be substantiated. There's no supporting evidence to suggest that we're in a world without God. But there's tons of evidence to suggest we're in a world with God.
There's no evidence to suggest we're in a world without God? None?
Could you give me a piece of evidence?
Yeah, like the fact that nobody can personally witness God. That's very small evidence.
I've personally witnessed God, so...
Well, then the fact that people attest that they've never witnessed God, that's very small evidence, right?
Who? That's subjective evidence.
Me.
Proof. You?
Well, I don't care. I don't care that I'm not trying to prove it. You said there's no evidence. I'm giving you a small piece of evidence.
How common are mass hallucinations, buddy?
Yeah, how common are mass hallucinations? Shut the fuck up, bro. Nobody wants to hear you yapping.
Yeah, so all I would respond to you with would be this, is that you're giving me something that's very subjective, very anecdotal. You're not
it's not compelling evidence, right?
And it's not even evidence though, because
it doesn't raise the probability.
I don't think he knows. I don't think Genesis knows what evidence is.
I can let you guys get back to it, sir. What do you think about that whole string of things that I just said? Like, if he wants to know, then we know. No entails belief. Belief means that either no atheist or no God. What do you think about that?
Yeah,
I gotta work on that.
That seems to be an entailment from the view.
Anyway, you guys can talk about nerd Bible stuff some more. Thanks, Genesis, for being cordial. Jacob,
you didn't acknowledge my point. How common are mass hallucinations?
That's
not very common. Can God do anything?
It makes sense to what he was saying. PRK, shut up! You give authority to women and atheists.
Bro gets the chance to speak and he just shits on girls and Brook. Like what?
You give authority to atheists and women. You're the last thing we need in Christianity.
Yo, Jacob.
You're a leftist. You're not even a conservative.
You just feel extremely pressed by equality.
Yo,
I think that women belong. I think that women shouldn't be in the job market. They should be in the kitchen.
Jacob, God hates bitches. Am I right?
Oh,
he loves bitches.
I think
even call them that. Have I called any women that word? No.
I didn't say. You think you're equal to God? What the fuck? Genesis just laughed at you.
I don't care what Genesis is doing. My name is Jacob, and I'm just me, and I talk about the truth. And clearly, God doesn't give any authority to women, not in the church and not outside of it. If you're a woman, your call is to be silent and go to the kitchen and do your work. Be a good little woman. Go to the kitchen, do your work, and support the man.
Like you're like a meme.
Why are these women? Why are the women called helpmates in the Bible? Because Adam was first. Eve was
So
deceived.
the same
So
word
Adam
used
rules
to
over
describe
Eve
woman
because Eve
as a
was deceived
helper.
first.
The same word used to describe woman as a helper is to describe God's relationship to Israel and
What I
how he
will say
helps
is
them.
ultimate
So good
authorities.
luck
So
with
clearly
that
in
definition
Genesis,
from God.
yeah, I got a woman.
Authentic.
See, this is the issue, Genesis. You got a woman up here acting like she can teach
What?
scripture. Acting like she has the
Well,
authority to teach
Jacob
scripture.
keeps
You're a
DMing me that
woman. You
Jacob
have
keeps
no
DMing me that
authority.
he's
Well,
gay,
look,
so.
You're
Jacob,
so ignorant, Jacob.
Jacob, you just have to be calmer with her. You can't be mean. Look, the reality is you're right. She doesn't have authority.
Bro's
to teach.
talking about her like she's an
But
animal.
you have to
approach
be.
with
This
you
is
have to
crazy,
be
bro. This
calmer
is
with
insane.
her.
This is
I just
insane.
can't believe these people actually exist. Like, it's
Well,
just
you're an
crazy.
atheist.
And they're
I
actually
can't
going
believe
to
you just
reproduce
got the evidence
probably.
there is.
Do you
Well,
think
I
it's
own
like
a business. Hey, I told you I
do
own a
know why
business.
you
My boss
exist.
is not a woman. I don't have
you
a
realize
boss. I
that
own
the
my own
whole
business.
atheist like slander is like only is only a zing in your opinion? Like no one else thinks it's like nobody cares if I'm an atheist. Like who gives a
I
fuck?
beg to differ. No, I disagree.
No, I don't. You're calling me an atheist as if it's an insult. Why would I care if you're calling me an atheist?
Well, you're
yeah, I'm an
assuming
atheist.
that I'm calling you an atheist as an insult.
Well, you keep saying it to dismiss what I say.
You,
right?
wait, you don't think it's insulting to
there's
deny
a
God's
biblical
existence?
reason for that.
Wait, Genesis, you don't think it's insulting to deny God's existence?
I think it's insulting to God. It doesn't insult me. He's going to have to deal with God. He's
It
not gonna
doesn't
have to
insult you?
Yeah,
you're not,
amen.
You're not insulted at all?
No, it doesn't insult me.
Damn, you're
because
pretty
I know-
divorced from the concept of loving God.
Because I know where I'm going. I feel
Yeah, we
that-
know where we're going, buddy. We know where we're going, and you don't. So that's
Bro,
the
can
sad
you-
part.
Wait,
you
Jacob,
explain
I got a
this?
question. I got a
Wait,
question for
Prue,
Jacob.
Prue,
You think
Prue,
you think
Prue,
that men
Prue.
can't teach? Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, Prue, can you expand guests so that born again can come up here?
Yeah, I can.
She's got like a low.
Let's talk about traditionalism with this libtard.
Hold up.
Jacob, just relax with the sexism for a second.
Yeah, and the adding tar to the
Dude, I don't know how to expand. What the heck? Let me try.
settings and then tap.
Whatever, bro.
I'm just
I can say
saying.
whatever I want. That's the privilege of being.
Oh, there it
Justin,
is.
would you
Nobody's saying you can't say that, dumb fuck. We're saying it's unkind.
Justin, would you be careful? Would you care for
Boo, it's
Justin?
unkind.
There and
Oh,
tell themselves
boo.
over and
Oh,
over
Did you
you
be
guys
kind?
probably.
again,
You know
I
what's
have
funny?
authority. I'm a man. I have authority.
You guys
If have to
probably
say
hate
yourself
Nick
that over and
Fuentes so
over,
much.
you probably just
Oh,
don't have
boo-hoo.
authority.
It's not kind. Oh my gosh.
I have a question for the host.
Bro thinks that being mean is
host. When you discussed with Sir over the years, what kind of arguments have you presented to him for the Christian worldview?
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to the resurrection, do you want me to like spell it out or?
So you only provide evidence of the resurrection of Christ.
He asked you a question. dumb fuck.
So you
That's
take
what
a
I do.
historical Strobel approach.
Yes.
Okay, that's fair. That's not a bad approach. But have you ever tried any other approaches with it?
Yeah, of course. But I don't like them. Like I just this is what I like to.
And since he's been around for so long, he went ahead and gave him authority over his live stream. He went ahead and gave an atheist authority.
Wait, Jacob,
over
I
his
got a
live stream.
question for you, right? You said that women can't teach men.
That women have no authority.
So they can or cannot teach men on the scripture.
I mean, give me an example.
Priscilla teaches Apollos.
She does.
She was with her husband was clearly there. Her husband
Okay,
was
so
clearly
what does
there
that
with the
mean?
authority.
What does that do for anything? Who cares? If
Well,
there
it
is
shows that
Clearly-
a woman
it-
cannot
what?
teach without permission. Just
Yeah,
as-
you must have the male
Yeah.
authority.
Did she
in
or
order
did she
for the
not
woman
teach?
to
Did she or did she not teach Apollos?
She did
had the
teach
authority of a man to do
Okay,
so.
where does the text say that?
What?
I am
You
not
want me to
sure
bring the
exactly
text
what
up?
it is,
Easy,
but I
bro.
bring the text up.
Easy.
Yeah,
Also,
I
bro,
can-
like I'm trolling half the time, but like if you actually talk,
What?
like if you talk to me in real life, you'd realize that I just be trolling, but I'm actually totally a chill guy, man. I just mess around with people.
Bro.
Well, that kind of
Either way, I mean, if we
your
want to get
appeal.
more to the substance, I don't know where in the scripture it says that
Nah,
she
I
had to
know,
get
but I'm
authority from her
I'm
husband
messing
to
around.
teach.
Jacob, now you're like not fun anymore.
I don't know where in the scripture it says she had to get authority from her husband to
so-
teach Apollos.
If I
Yeah,
go-
clearly she had authority because she was married. Host, nice
I
try.
believe
though.
it's in the book of Hebrews that calls the woman.
Hebrews
the
wasn't
leader
written by
of the
Paul
lost.
yet again.
Genesis, that's not what he's talking about. He's asking where
this isn't the Christian approach.
No, he's misrepresenting it. PRK, she had authority to teach because she had a husband and because the husband was authority over that household. Where did they teach? It was in a household. Okay, so she had her husband there present, who was the authority, and she was teaching with his and her knowledge that came from God. This is not authority, okay, over anyone. She has no authority. She's just teaching. Her husband has the authority over the household that she was teaching in. Okay, it's very simple.
Heard you, Jesus Christ. Who else on the panel? Who else on the panel said women don't have authority?
Who the fuck are you?
Oh my God, tongue in the mouth when we're laughing, please. Jesus Christ. Who else on the panel said women don't have authority?
You have no authority, woman. I was actually going to go. I was going to not troll, but now I'm going right
every
back.
mother one of
Women
you.
love to have their authority. You're liberal.
Yeah, but you're saying like you're gonna wreck people. I mean, that's what
yeah, and I've had 15 abortions this week, and I do it again. Who else said women can't have authority on the panel?
Well, yeah, because you're evil. I mean, I feel bad.
Who else said women can't have authority on the panel besides Jacob?
Authority over your own body. God has authority over you.
Jacob, I get it. You're a little bitch. I want to know who else doesn't have authority. Who else said women don't have authority?
Who else doesn't have authority? Illegals.
Who else said women don't have authority is my question. Why is that so?
Look, I'm going to make it very clear, right? I'm going to make it clear. We can tell when somebody doesn't have authority because if you don't have authority, you're going to make really strange, arbitrary claims that make no fucking sense. Like, you know, I got 15 abortions this week. That's how we could tell. No fucking authority. No brain cells.
Dang. Women on women now. That's crazy. Based.
Somebody made a claim that women don't have authority other than Jacob. Who was it?
That was me.
Okay, then why are you bitching at Jacob about sexism, you asshole?
I'm not. I don't even think that's a legit thing. I think that's just a fabric.
You guys have been literally bitching at Jacob about, oh man, no, we have to kindly oppress women. Fuck all of you.
No, that's Sir. That's not me.
Wait, I never said that. You said that.
No. I don't.
No, you said that we have to approach it.
Born's right. You came at me, Genesis, because you said
Jacob, I'm not dick riding you. I'm just saying there is no nice way to tell women that they need to fucking submit to you.
Yeah.
You asshole people.
Let's go.
Oh wait, no, wait, yeah. No. I remember what I said.
The fucking fact that Jacob's screaming that women need to submit and you guys are calmly saying it, you all are fucking assholes in my opinion.
At least I'm the honest asshole. At least I'm the honest asshole.
I can give you.
At least I tell it to you.
Yeah, you can kindly tell people to fuck off. So fuck all of you guys.
Wow, that wasn't very kind.
You can, what are you you're whispering that women need to suck your dick?
That's so
that's not what I'm saying at all.
I'm not gonna lie.
You're like, let me just whisper that I want somebody to constantly suck on my nipple. Fuck all of you.
That's not what I said. That's just creepy.
Out of here, please.
That's just creepy.
No, you guys are all like, suck my tit. Oh, that's sorry, I'm calmly telling women to submit to me. You guys are all trash.
Just calmly tell them. Just calmly tell them. Hold on. Let's be women are mythical creatures.
Honestly, Jacob's a dick, but I'd rather him scream and be an obvious dick than a secret asshole. Fuck you guys.
Wait, the only person
I'm not secret about it. I'm just.
Hold on. Wait, Born. You know the only person that's saying that is Genesis. No one else in the panel saying that.
Right. Just came in here and screamed at a
whole Sir, I'm not accusing you because you're the atheist on the panel. It's for all the other opponents.
Yeah, no, listen.
Well, Prook isn't saying it either, right? It's
say it with your chest. You want to be.
Yeah, we get it. Look, it's
a real man.
Well, you're not a real man, dude. You're a sack of shit that wants a mommy. You're a freak too.
Beautiful conservative woman, buddy.
No, a doll doesn't count, asshole.
He's a virgin too.
Wait.
Little virgin.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah, sir, I'm not accusing you. I just heard somebody else say, yeah, they do need to submit, but you know,
that was
nice about our misogyny.
That's not the views. That's not my views.
No, I agree with Born. Listen, guys, I know it's a hot take. Hold on.
They were bringing up.
Sir's the atheist on the panel. I'm not worried about Sir.
They were bringing up how in Titus and in these other letters, what Genesis was, right? He was bringing up these letters and Corinthians, this interpolated verse, that's basically misogynistic, these misogynistic verses or whatever. He doesn't believe misogyny is real.
Yeah, but dude,
We try to tell him that these letters aren't written by Paul.
They are.
And that verse was edited by a later author. And so we had been going through that.
Because the scholars I'm reading disagree with you.
No, we have surveys. Like Sir just told you, we have surveys of scholars that say Paul did not write Titus.
Guys, listen, we can move on to that, but listen, clearly, what Bourne is trying to say is,
hey,
if you're a
don't mansplain
misogynist,
over me, asshole.
say it with your chest. Stop being quiet. Stop trying to claim moral superiority over me when you have the same view as me. I agree with Bourne. If you got the same view as me, say it with your chest. Women belong in the kitchen.
Yeah, but it says to be patient.
Dude, you fucking wish. You want a mommy, dude. You couldn't afford one.
I got a girl. She's beautiful. She's
a goddamn doll, and your TV
she's a
doesn't
German
count.
she's an Aryan, and she doesn't believe women should be working. Okay, she's beautiful because I also have attractive.
Yeah, your illustration, your sports illustration. Yeah, I'm sure she's fucking hot.
I pull the babe. I mean, she's a blonde hair, blue-eyed babe. She's
nobody
hot.
gives a shit. Okay, so what's the point? You have a misogynistic religion. So whether or not those texts are misplaced, you have millions of assholes like Jacob and Genesis who are apologists for misogyny. What are you going to do to change the narrative? Because I'm sorry, 13% of women in the United States are pastors. Only 13. So clearly the message is getting across that women are less than men.
We need to get them out of pastoral roles.
Well, we need that's 13% crazy. To drop.
We need it to go to zero. Now we're talking Genesis. That's what I like to hear, man. Groypers for life. Come on.
I don't even know what that is.
Fuentes is the great. He's going to be the emperor of the United States of America.
They're basically guys that get off on other men. That's what they are.
I love the fact that he stands up for Christianity and he stands up for the submission of women. Okay,
look,
I'm not an incel.
Kind of like
I'm not an incel. I'm as alpha as it gets, Bourne. I'm as alpha as it gets. You don't even know.
I'm sorry. I just heard you pop a good one talking about Nick Fuentes. So nobody's you're not convincing anybody, asshole.
The emperor. He's going to be the emperor. He's going to be your president.
Dude, please.
This is the issue, though. It's like you're giving us reason to not let women have any position of power right now because you're being very emotional. You're being irrational.
Emotional? I'm calling it bigotry when you guys have been screaming at each other for 2 fucking hours.
Wait, I have a question for you, Jenny.
Can we get the evidence that Paul wrote?
I have a question for you.
Oh my God, you're proving that women are emotional. You guys have been fucking screaming at each other for 2 hours.
We can say whatever we want. We're men. We fight wars. We crusaded.
Jacob, when's the last time you fought a war? Jacob, when's the last time you fought a war?
I fight a war every single day as a man. I fight a war. I fight the war of proclaiming the gospel. I
fight the war of my involuntary celibacy. I fight the war of my virginity. I fight the war of my insecurity. Oh, be fucking
voluntary, Bourne.
My involuntary celibacy. I fight the war of my singleness.
but here's the issue, Bourne. If you came in here and you actually presented
Genesis, you can actually go fuck yourself with your involuntary celibacy.
Well, Genesis. To be fair, do you have any verse that Paul writes that isn't interpolated or from a fake letter, please?
Well, what I would just disagree with you in whole. I think
that
you guys have been screaming at each other for 2 fucking hours,
and we could do that all we want.
We're men. And it's a big fucking.
We're men. We bring home the bacon, Bourne. I could do whatever the hell I want. I'm a man.
Dude, you touch yourself to Nick Fuentes. Who are you fucking kidding?
What?
Nick Fuentes is my friend.
I'm just gonna kick him. I'm just gonna kick him because. Yeah. So Genesis, do you have the evidence that like Paul wrote those things, bro?
Yeah.
Okay, what is it, bro?
I told you apostolic succession through the fathers. That would be my reasoning for believing that, along with modern day scholars supporting.
Modern day scholars? Do you know any of them?
I can pull up a list. I don't have them all.
Sure, but you do realize that they're in the fringe minority, right?
Well, so what I would say is the majority. That's not always what takes the victor. I mean, that's just. I would say that would be an appeal to majority fallacy. I don't think that would be relevant.
No, I'm not saying that it has to be true because the majority say so. I'm just saying that that's a expert consensus would be a form of evidence.
Well, yeah. Well, then you just said that. Then that is what you're saying.
No, it's not the same.
Because the expert consensus throughout history, at least in the field of, I mean, This is a whole different field. The field of science, for example, the consensus of science has been wrong more than it's been right. So I don't know if consensus, and those guys were experts, they're geniuses.
So what apostolic authority are we talking about? Like, what's the chain?
I'm referring to the fathers that accepted Paul as the author.
Okay, so that's Irenaeus, right? Why did Irenaeus think that Paul wrote the letter?
Irenaeus said word for word. He said that...
like 80, 100 years after the fact. Why does Irenaeus think Paul wrote the letter, though?
Why does
I don't care if he says it. I'm asking why he thinks he wrote it.
Because Irenaeus got word from earlier fathers. And
who?
That knew Paul.
Like who knew Paul that he got word from?
Okay, hold up. Let me get that because I have that. Just give me a moment, please. Okay. Here's a couple that directly knew Paul. Clement of Rome knew Paul personally. We know this because Paul mentioned.
So you're saying that Irenaeus got the idea that Paul wrote Titus from Clement of Rome?
No. Here's what you have to look at. You have one. We don't even have to give names. You have a church father, or you have 5 church fathers. They knew Paul personally. They knew he wrote this book. Maybe even some of them witnessing him write this book.
Okay, so there's church fathers who know Paul personally that say that he wrote the book. And who are these people?
Clement of Rome. He knew Paul personally.
And Clement of Rome said that Paul wrote Titus?
Clement of Rome says, for instance, when you read this was far after, but when you read Irenaeus says Clement had seen the blessed apostles. This was in his book Against Heresies.
No, I'm not denying that Clement may have known Paul. It's possible. I'm just saying, did Clement of Rome say Paul wrote Titus?
Irenaeus quotes Paul wrote Titus. And Irenaeus,
and again, why does Irenaeus think that Paul wrote Titus? You said it's because there's a secession. And you said it goes back to Clement of Rome. And I'm asking you, how do we know that Clement of Rome thinks that Paul wrote Titus? What's the evidence for that?
Okay, I'll just give you the family tree. Why Clement of Rome thinks that Paul...
Yeah, Paul wrote Titus. Yeah, why is that?
Okay, let me go to that. Just wait a moment. Because I don't have this stuff. I don't have this in a database in my mind. This is a very important thing. Where is this in my drive? Paul, right? You said Paul, not Peter.
Paul, yeah. I'm talking about Titus, yeah.
All right. Let's see. Okay. So this says that, based off what I have here, it says Clement directly quotes Titus as scripture. He quotes it in 1 Clement 2, 1 Clement 8, 1 Clement 64, and he uses that as authoritative apostolic scripture, and he associated it with Paul.
Okay, so you're saying Clement directly quotes Titus, so let's look at the verses. Do you know what the specific verse in 1 Clement is?
Yeah. He echoes Titus 3:1.
Okay, let me see.
That's 1 Clement 2.
Wait, you just said he quoted it. You mean echoes different than quoting, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know the difference there?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that it could be some tradition they're both pulling on Titus and Clement. It doesn't necessarily mean that Clement's aware of Titus there. He never says anything about Titus, never quotes Titus.
Why this matters for Titus, ready for every good work. It is direct quote from Titus, be ready for every good work. Yeah, no, he directly quotes Titus 3:1, word for word.
No, he doesn't.
Yeah, he does. I'm reading it right now. He directly quotes it.
Where does he quote Titus? Give me the verse again.
In fact, the Greek is the exact same.
What's the verse?
First Clement 2, and the Greek is word for word.
First Clement 2 what? First Clement 2 what?
I gave you. It's just First Clement 2. You start from 1 Clement 2 and you read. at the Greek right now, and he uses the exact same wording, positioning, exact same from Titus 3:1. Not even one change in what he writes.
What website are you looking at the letter on?
Hold on.
Talking about 1 Clement 2, 1 through 3.
Talking about, I pulled up 1 Clement 2 and I read all the way down.
Okay, what's the verse that you think comes? You said Titus 3:1.
Yeah, Titus 3:1. He quotes it directly.
So what we're talking about is the verse that says, "Be ready for every good work." That's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
And that's your evidence that he was aware of Titus, that they both said, "Be ready for every good work."
Yeah, because Clement copies it word for word from the other text. The Greek's the exact same. There's no difference.
But it's a very generic sentence.
It's really not. That's a very biblically specific. That's used all.
Be ready for good work. You think that's?
Yeah,
you think that's specific enough to where that means he has to be quoting Titus?
Yeah, that's a biblical quote.
Does he say anything like the scripture says or Paul said or anything like that?
Let me see, because that's just one of them. Let's see. I mean, I think that's more than good enough.
You think that's good enough?
It also says this. It also says this phrase is found in the Wisdom of Sirach. I don't know if that's true. I'd have to look it up. And the Wisdom of Solomon. Right? Clearly, you don't think they're quoting Titus.
But that would further show my point that he's quoting the biblical. Remember, you have to remember, when Paul says that in Titus, Paul is quoting the wisdoms from the Old Testament. That's what Paul's doing. And so by Clement quoting that, he's quoting Paul because Paul was specifically quoting the Old Testament.
How do you know they're both not quoting the wisdoms then?
Because it would have made much more sense for Clement to quote Paul than to quote the wisdoms. Because, and I can actually tell you why. Not only that, but let's say hypothetically Clement is quoting the wisdoms. Okay, Clement was a Christian, so Clement knew very well that Paul quoted the wisdoms. So they both went back to the same verses to pull for the New Testament. So it makes much more sense that Clement would have been quoting Paul than quoting the wisdoms, that he would have just.
What are you talking about? If the verse exists in different works and you think Paul's quoting the author of Titus, whatever, is quoting this wisdom of Sirach or wisdom of Solomon, why not just think that that's also what the authors of First Clement are doing?
Because it would make much more sense for Clement to quote Paul because he knew him directly, rather for him to go back into the wisdom.
He doesn't say he's quoting Paul, though.
It doesn't. There's a lot of times. I mean, usually
the authors of Clement never say they're quoting Paul there. I mean, the only time they reference quoting Paul or
they don't have to say
Paul is when they quote from 1 Corinthians and from Romans.
Yeah. Well, okay. Well, then there. I mean, I would say he is quoting Paul here, but in that instance. But for instance, I mean, you just said it. He did quote Paul. So.
Yeah, in the undisputed letters he does. Not in that's the whole issue. The pastorals are disputed. In fact, they're not even really considered disputed. They're considered like inauthentic. The ones that are disputed are Ephesians, Colossians, and 2 Thessalonians.
I would disagree. I would say that you're talking about not thousands, but I mean of very, very many years of church fathers. In fact, you can put together the entire Bible just using the church fathers. We didn't even need the Catholics. It's not the Catholics did it. They did it through the church fathers.
Okay, listen. These traditions you're referring to, they're just quoting the same traditions, right? That's why they have similar language when they talk about them. And the things they get wrong, they collectively get wrong, right? Like, for example, Matthew writing in Hebrew. Right, so these church fathers you're pointing to that are quoting these traditions, they're just referencing the same traditions, and the traditions.
Matthew would have written in Hebrew.
Yeah, but he didn't. The author of Matthew is in Greek.
Yeah, so I'm not saying that Matthew is written in Hebrew, but I'm saying Matthew 100% would have written Hebrew.
But the Gospel of Matthew was never in Hebrew, so they got that wrong.
Who? What church father?
Irenaeus, Papias, Clement of Alexandria.
And so what exactly did Irenaeus and Clement of Alexandria
say that Matthew was originally composed his gospel in Hebrew and was later translated into languages people could understand. Right. And then Jerome says the same thing. He says that Matthew was composed in Hebrew and that he doesn't know who translated it to Greek. That's what he says. Right. Which Matthew was never translated to Greek. It was a Greek text because Matthew, when he writes, the author of Matthew quotes the Greek Septuagint, so we know it was originally in Greek.
Well, so what I would say to that is I'd say that I mean, I'd have to look into this. This won't be my final reasoning, but I'd say that that's not ultimately wrong. There could have been an earlier manuscript that wasn't Hebrew that then was translated into Greek from somebody who spoke both Greek and Hebrew. That's a possibility.
Not really.
Yeah, it is.
No, there's a lot of issues with that. For one, Matthew uses Mark as a source. That's the first issue. Mark is a Greek text. Okay, so that's the first issue. The second issue is that, again, Matthew, the author Matthew. And yes, and what did you say?
I said, yeah, Mark is before Matthew.
Right, Matthew's using Mark. Matthew's using Mark as a source, right? Mark is written in Greek, right? So how could it be written in Hebrew if he's using a Greek source? That's the first issue. The second issue is Matthew quotes the Greek Septuagint, right? And also explains Aramaic phrases in his work. How could this ever have been in Hebrew? It's a Greek text written by a Greek author.
Here's what I'll tell you. I would say that, yeah, they used the Septuagint. That's obvious. Those kind of Jews, the Alexandrian Jews, they would have used the Septuagint. I'm not disagreeing with that. But what I'm saying is that nobody can know ultimately if there was a Hebrew manuscript. I mean, it could have not even been the first. The first manuscript obviously probably was Greek, but there could have been a very early on Hebrew manuscript that somebody knew Greek and turned it to Hebrew.
The tradition about Matthew that's repeated consistently by the church is wrong, right? And that tradition is that Matthew originally composed his gospel in Hebrew and it was translated into languages in which other people can understand it. It's going to be Irenaeus. It's going to be Irenaeus, book 3. I think it's chapter 1, verse 1, but it might be verse 3. I was like, first confused.
And he says Matthew wrote Matthew in Hebrew originally.
Yeah, it's the section where Irenaeus talks about the tradition of the gospel authors. It's book 3. I think it's either book 3, chapter 1, or book 3, chapter 3, something like that.
Okay, let me see.
Genesis, if you agree with Jacob, why did you kick him?
I didn't kick him. I have no authority in here.
Genesis isn't a mod here.
Oh.
Okay.
We also have the quotations of Papias from Eusebius, right? According to Eusebius, this guy Papias in the late 1st, early 2nd century said Matthew was composed in Hebrew, right? Which that's probably where these people are getting the tradition from, is this Papias guy.
Let's see here. I cannot. Oh wait, hold on. Matthew also issued a written gospel among the Hebrews in their own dialect, while Peter and Paul were preaching the gospel in Rome and laying the foundations of the church. So what I would say is I don't think that this communicates at all that the original was written in Hebrew. Matthew could have written a Greek, but also have written a Hebrew manuscript for the Jews. In fact, that would make sense for the mission of the gospel, so that Jews and Gentiles could both receive gospel.
Maybe you don't understand what's going on here and against heresies, but Irenaeus is specifically trying to argue that these books he has in front of them come from apostles. Right? He's opening up here with giving the history about each book, right? Giving a brief history about each book. And when he's talking about Matthew, he's talking about where the gospel he has in front of him came from.
Yeah, I know. I'm reading the context here, and I'm trying to look over this. Learn from others the plan of salvation, and from those through whom the gospel was cut down, to us which they proclaimed at one time.
Thanks for the hand hearts. I love you too.
God handed down to us the scriptures to be a ground and pillar of our faith, for it is unlawful to assert that they preach before they possess perfect knowledge, as some do even venture to say, boasting themselves as improvers of the apostles. For after our Lord rose from the dead, and they were endowed with power from the high by the Holy Spirit, they were filled with all knowledge and perfect understanding. They were forth to all ends to the earth, proclaiming the good news of good from God to us, and proclaiming peace from heaven. Matthew issued a written gospel among the Hebrews in their own dialect, while Peter and Paul were preaching the gospel in Rome and laying the foundations of the church. After their departure, Mark the disciple.
On mute so you can read that. You don't have to read it out loud, dude. I don't know what the point of that is. I'm proud. Did you want to say something, or did you want to comment anything?
Nope. Just sitting up here listening.
Okay.
Hey, but while he's reading that, though, because I just like asking, what did you think about the proposal that how do I word this? That when he wrote that there was a Hebrew dialect, that he could have been referring to like a Hebrew narrative or a Hebrew layout, and not necessarily like the language. Although I feel like the word dialect is pretty clear, but I'm just curious.
Yeah. Well, it's it seems to be. I mean, if that's like, let's say this is the only verse we had, maybe it can be interpreted that way. But when other people talk about it, they talk about the languages it was translated to. Like, for example, like I brought up Jerome. Jerome says he doesn't know who translated the Hebrew into the Greek. So he recognizes there's a Greek text, which is the one that made it into the Bible. And that he says he doesn't know who translated the Hebrew to the Greek.
Jerome
So
also
I actually think
acknowledges that it's completely different from the one we have in the Greek, doesn't he? That it was there were even some things in it like that the Holy Spirit was Jesus's mother or something.
maybe I'm not aware of that. You saying Jerome says that?
Yeah, I went looking after you had explained some stuff to me, and I just asked ChatGPT to pull sources, that's why I was just asking. But I had asked it like what all Jerome had specifically said about this gospel and why he denied it, essentially. And it just says that it was because it was vastly different from the one that was already affirmed in Greek. And then I asked what was different about it, and it just gave me like a couple bullet points, and one of them was like, I guess that Jesus had said the Holy Spirit was his mother.
Interesting. No, I wasn't even aware of that. I know that my personal opinion is that this gospel they're talking about is just the Ebionite gospel, where it's called the Gospel of the Hebrews, which was circulating around the same time when Papias is writing.
What would you say to the... Sorry, go ahead. No, I don't want to cut you off.
Well, all I was going to say is this gospel is not, you guys would say it was being proclaimed by heretics. I mean, the Ebionites denied that Jesus was divine. They thought he was just some sort of messianic figure.
Right. How do we know that though? Because like I asked it to like the people who Jerome got the text from. I had asked if those people were still around or if we could find any of their traditions and it literally says nothing. The only evidence we even have of these people is through the church fathers. So
okay, this is going to get really convoluted. And I'm going to try to remember the line of argumentation where I heard this that kind of made me, again, I'm not like completely convinced on it. My credence is probably something like 55, 60% on this. But so there's this quotation that Eusebius talks about with this sinful woman story. Okay. And he talks about this sinful woman story right after talking about what Papias says about Matthew. Okay. And then right after he quotes it, he says this story is also found in the gospel according to the Hebrews. Now, Eusebius also recognizes elsewhere that he doesn't have access to the gospel according to the Hebrews. And we know from other people that's quoted that there is a sinful woman story in the gospel of the Hebrews. So the question is, where does Eusebius get the idea that that's in the gospel of Hebrews? Right? Why wouldn't he think the sinful woman story is the one that's in For example, the one that's in Matthew or the one that's in Luke, like Luke chapter 7, right? It's probably because there's something that's in the lost work of Papias that indicates that Papias is looking at the Gospel of Hebrews when he's talking about this. That's kind of the theory.
Gotcha. Okay. Not
Now,
gonna
again,
yet. I'll noodle it around and be back tomorrow to pick that apart, I guess. But
there's low credence on that. I'm just saying, I've kind of been leaning that way. And even if it's not the Gospel of Hebrews, I don't think it really matters. Whatever, I'm of the opinion that whatever books that Papias is talking about are not the books that made it into the Bible.
word. What would you think of like the proposition that like Matthew wasn't intended to be like, as far as I've gathered, and this may have been something that I was ignorant to as well, so I'll just admit that. But like, it seems that like the idea that Matthew was some sort of eyewitness just tends to come with evangelical preaching, because when I was looking at it, it seems that Matthew was never even meant to be represented as if it were an eyewitness or a somebody who was there when he was born, but it was more so written as like a fuller
Oh, you
tradition.
mean internally in the text? Yeah, the text never claims any.
Yeah, so like how would you feel about the idea that like maybe it would be like a traditional written text and not really an eyewitness text? Would that change anything on like its reliability for you? Like if it was a different standard, you mean?
Someone quoting like oral tradition or whatever.
Yeah, like what if Matthew was just like a traditional type thing and never meant to be taken as an eyewitness thing? Would that change the way that you like gauge it on whether or not the authorship is reliable? Like if the author is not actually claiming to be an eyewitness, and it was never meant to be taken that way, and you're just looking at it as if it were a traditional text, you know?
Yeah, I don't think. Okay, so when it comes to like the sources Matthew's using, I don't think there's any reason to think he's using any sort of oral tradition. I know some scholars have tried to argue that, but I think the kind of arguments for that aren't very strong. It's like, because we can kind of get it, at least a large portion of Matthew we can see comes from Mark. A lot of the narratives he's quoting from Mark and he adds on to them, right? Matthew's basically the Sermon on the Mount with the virgin birth and the post-resurrection appearances, right? With Mark. That's basically what Matthew is.
I looked that up. And you're wrong about Irenaeus. It says Irenaeus never, even with context, he's not making a declaration that the original was written in Hebrew. That this declaration was never made or accepted by any other father.
Well, you just read it. What are you talking about?
Yeah, it says Matthew also issued a written gospel among the Hebrews, but it never says Matthew.
And sorry, read the next sentence.
Yeah, it says Matthew issued a written gospel among the Hebrews in their own dialect.
What do you think that means?
It says, Matthew wrote a gospel for the Jews too.
What?
Dude, you're literally making that fit what you're saying. Do you think that if somebody said that me...
Wait, what are you saying right now? I don't even understand what you're saying. What are you saying?
Are you implying that they're...
Understand what you're saying. What are you saying?
Are you implying that Matthew would have written like both? Like a Hebrew, one for the Hebrews and one for the Gentiles? Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely. Matthew had to speak multi-languages. He was a tax collector. He was forced.
Okay, so where does Irenaeus say that Matthew composed more than one gospel?
He doesn't have to. That's like saying the Bible never uses the word Trinity, therefore it's not biblical. Why don't you look up what Eusebius quotes from Papias? I don't have to. I'm reading on this. It doesn't matter what another father says. I'm reading Irenaeus. But based off what you said about Irenaeus.
Yeah, we can read Irenaeus in context, what he says, and it's the same tradition.
It even says that contextually and with modern scholars that your view is not supported, that this is not a supported view. And with modern scholarship,
that's not true. I mean, I don't know how much I've read books on this topic. They go over the different views on the tradition of Matthew. Now, I don't know what view is the majority view, but a lot of scholars hold to my view. It's not like extremely controversial what I'm saying. There's a lot of debate about what Papias is talking about, if he's talking about our books. You know, is he looking at the actual Mark? Why does he say Mark's out of order? All kinds of stuff. Right?
Yeah,
this tradition.
that doesn't even follow. Like you saying that he said Matthew wrote a Hebrew. So what? He never says original. He never says that this was the original manuscript. He simply says
talking
Matthew
about the
wrote a Hebrew
Gospel of
version.
Matthew there, dude. He's talking about the Gospel of Matthew.
Yeah, but that's irrelevant. Matthew could have written a Gospel of Matthew in Greek and Hebrew.
But he doesn't say that.
He doesn't have to. He also didn't say that it's the original manuscript. That's my whole point.
He's talking about the Gospel of Matthew.
Yes, exactly. And so if he doesn't look, I'll read this to you. This says Matthew also issued a written gospel among the Hebrews and their dialects.
Wait,
so
also in relation to what?
Also
in relation to Mark. Hello. I'm not going to let you be dishonest. No, you're being dishonest.
You lied. This is why
the also is in relation. The also is in relation to Mark.
Yes.
Right? It's not.
Can I finish my point?
He's not saying Matthew wrote two Gospels.
So because he didn't say, okay, dude, see, this is actually really sad. Because he didn't go and you're saying essentially, because he said that Matthew issued a gospel in Hebrew or for the Hebrews, that means he never issued one in Greek. How does that follow?
Okay, let me try to run you through it again, right? Okay. In Against Heresies, the chapter you're reading, Irenaeus is giving a brief history of where the four Gospels he's looking at came from. Okay. So the first one he talks about, I believe, is Mark, right? And then he goes on to talk about the tradition of Matthew. And what he says about Matthew is that Matthew wrote his gospel in Hebrew dialect. That's what's being said there. Okay? And
no, it doesn't say that. You're lying. I'm reading
Yes, it does. It says he wrote a gospel to the Hebrews in their own dialect.
Yes, and it said that it says he issued among Hebrews in their own dialect. It does not say that Matthew did not issue one in Greek. And if he did, you're assuming that Irenaeus has to document that, or Irenaeus would know.
He's talking about the tradition of the Gospel of Matthew. What are you not understanding?
I'm understanding it, but you're making the assumption that Matthew couldn't have written one in Hebrew. That's insane.
You're making the assumption that he wrote something in Greek and Hebrew, right? When Irenaeus doesn't say that.
That would follow the history of that time that Matthew would do that.
Well, I don't know what to tell you, man. When other people talk about this Hebrew Matthew, and they talk about the Greek Matthew, they talk about it being translated, right? That's like what Jerome says. Jerome says that someone translated the Hebrew into the Greek and he doesn't know who translated it, right? Same with Eusebius when he's talking about Papias, when he quotes what Papias says, which is probably where Irenaeus is getting the tradition from, by the way. When he quotes from Papias, he says, look, he says that Papias said that Matthew composed this gospel in Hebrew, and it was translated into languages in which other people could understand.
Okay, and there's no issue with saying that Matthew, a tax collector who would have spoken Hebrew, he would have spoken Greek and Aramaic, at his time going around with Jesus Christ, he would have been documenting in his native tongue, Hebrew, and that later on there was a scribe, or Matthew did it because he could have. He scribed it in Greek for the Gentiles so that they could have the gospel. That makes perfect sense.
You're probably not even aware of this, but you know that tax collectors in the first century couldn't write complex works like this, right? They were basically people that went people that went and collected debts. That's kind of what their job was.
No. I've read on this. That's not true. Tax collectors they weren't Albert Einstein, but they were more intelligent than the average person by a lot.
What extensive text like this do we have from tax collectors in the first century?
I can't tell you off the top of my head, but I'm sure that I could pull it up.
Yeah, let's find one. Why don't you go ahead and look it up?
Oh, well, well-formed texts from a first century Jewish tax collector. Here, I'll mute my mic because my keyboard's on.
Perk, are you here? I don't know if we want Deathless up here right now. He's kind of a handful. Deathless, what do you want to say? Just comment in the chat, then I'll decide.
Hey, sir. Wait, is somebody?
Hey.
My bad. I came up here to talk and my headphones connected to my TV so I could hear my daughter's SpongeBob playing, and I thought I was going crazy for a minute. I pulled up the quotes from Jerome on that gospel.
Uh-huh.
It says, so this is a direct and indirect quotations from the Hebrew gospel per Jerome. The first one is Jerome commentary on Isaiah. In the gospel which the Nazarenes and the Ebionites use, which I recently translated from Hebrew into Greek, and which many call the genuine Matthew, it is written, quote, just now my mother, the Holy Spirit, took me by one of my hairs and carried me to the great mountain Tabor. This is the most famous quote. And so this is one of the reasons I was seeing why Jerome denied it.
Yeah, that's
Another one
interesting.
says, in the gospel which the Nazarenes use, the Lord says to the rich man, how can you say, I have kept the law and the prophets? For it is written in the law, you shall love your neighbor as yourself. And behold, many of your brothers, sons of Abraham, are covered with dirt and dying of hunger, and your house is full of many good things.
I found it.
Found what? What were you looking for?
What I needed to look for. Strong historical evidence that suggests that Jewish tax collectors in the first century not only spoke multiple languages, but they were very, very highly literate and capable writers, trained in record keeping, contracts, accounts, and official documents.
Wait, okay, so you realize that being able to jot a few sentences down or put some numbers on a piece of paper does not mean they're extremely literate, right? I mean, I'm asking for an example of a tax collector that writes some like lengthy.
I know, but you're moving the goalpost. You asked me.
No, you're not. That's what I asked for specifically.
Dude, you're being very intellectually dishonest right now. Every time I find something, you move the goalpost.
What are you talking about?
I find something else.
Dude, I asked you specifically for that. And you said you were going to go
find it. I've given it to you. It says they're highly, highly literate and capable writers, trained in record keeping.
Look, I'm not looking for an opinion. I'm not looking for an opinion here.
This is an opinion. This is scholarly practice.
I'm looking for you to provide an example of what was requested that you said that you could find. Right? If you don't have that, just say you couldn't find one.
Okay, I'll give you an example.
Okay, thank you.
Another thing that it says, sir, is that I guess in this this Hebrew Matthew, Jerome records that there was a resurrection appearance specifically to James.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, that's what it says. Anyway, I mean, I haven't seen it, but that's what it says. And it also says, yeah, the Russian open it. Let me see.
Okay, let's let Deathless up for a little bit. I want to hear what he has to say.
Sure.
What's up?
So, well, we could talk about rising from the dead, and we could talk about different paradigms of it. The early Christian consensus and the early Christian community was by no means united on this issue. There were three different camps. There were the apocalypticists, the Gnostics, who believed that the resurrection was neither physical nor was it spiritual. It was a revelation. It was an apocalyptic event. There were the physicalists, which eventually became the Orthodox movement. And then there were those that were the spiritualists. And over time, this view came to be syncretized into a single consistent body of theology, in which it had elements of, to the current theology had elements of all of them, but was not reducible to any one of them. So church history today, church orthodoxy teaches that Christ's resurrection was a glorified body. Now, a glorified body has the Latin root or the Greek root doxosoma. What that means, it means a body of pure light. Now, in Orthodox theology, doxophanies or theophanies or anything along the lines are pure phenomenology. So let's say that I have a picture of a Rembrandt, but I don't know what a Rembrandt is, and I'm an infant, and I have no concepts by which to actually analyze it. I only encounter the pure phenomenology of the Rembrandt, which is unmediated by any concepts.
Wait, hold on. Before we get on that, I just wanted to clarify. You think Paul's talking about a spiritual resurrection? That's what you're saying?
No, I'm saying he's talking about an apocalyptic event.
Oh, you don't think when Paul's talking about the glorified body, you don't think he's talking about a spiritual resurrection?
No, I'm talking about apocalyptic resurrection. You have to understand it. So let's say that I'm an infant and somebody presents a Rembrandt to me. I have no concepts by which to actually interpret it. I don't have an idea of matter, energy, space, or time to project on top of it. It's because those are just paradigms of interpretation. I encounter it directly, naively, as it really is, before I break it down. Jesus Christ's resurrection was a preconceptual, direct revelation, which in Christian theology is called an apocalyptic event. It's before you interpret it through lenses of matter, energy, space, and time. So a phenomenological self-disclosure can have all the properties of a psychological, spiritual, material event as pure phenomenology. It depends on how you actually reinterpret it through the lens of whatever paradigm you're breaking the concepts on. Now, there's nothing within human history or in physics that prevents a pure phenomenological experience of a direct...
Hold on. I'm sorry to derail here a little bit, but is it... I hate to ask you this, but is it true you can't do a backflip?
Is it true that you can't get an erection?
Sorry, what did you say?
I heard you can't get an erection. I heard you're so rotund and a little bit portly that you can't get erections anymore.
Well, look, people ask me, I'm just asking you, can you do a backflip?
No, but can you get an erection?
Look, that's not relevant to whether or not you can do a backflip.
But no, it's okay. It's okay. Can you get one? Can you get an erection?
Can you do a backflip, yes or no?
Can you get an erection, yes or no?
Wait, I asked you the question first. I'll make a deal.
And I asked you the question second.
Look, I'll answer your question after you answer mine.
I'll answer your question after you answer mine.
Also, I was in a live earlier. I saw that.
So this is what this is. This is called you're going to derail because you have an argument to contend with.
You know what this guy did?
He just moves the goalpost. He's a
because you're going to try to derail.
You know what this guy did? He challenged Tupac.
Here's what we have.
He challenged Tupac to a fight and then he ran away.
Undeniable.
I love your
phenomenological experience to anyone who experienced it.
People cannot
Wait, hold on. I just want to say something.
Yeah,
resurrection was a direct, undeniable phenomenon.
This guy challenged Tupac to a fight, then ran away.
Resurrection was a direct.
He ran away like a little bitch.
Phenomenological experience. Once
you ran away like a little bitch.
You spontaneously discovered that you have an argument.
Why is somebody doing a
It completely disarms your ability to argue.
You ran away like a little bitch.
Have you noticed you don't have an argument against it? Have you noticed you don't have an argument against it anymore?
Have you noticed that you challenged Tupac to a fight and ran away?
No,
you challenged a dead man?
Dude, this is why I prefer to talk.
Have you noticed you don't have an answer? Have you noticed that you don't have an answer and all you're attempting to do is just to try to
derail? Yeah, because you're just babbling again like you always do. You come on panels and babble.
All you try to do is derail.
Dude,
right. Have you noticed that? All you're attempting to do is try to beat you off.
Not even engaging with him.
Right. I'll deal with Tupac. Trust me, he's going to get dealt with because he called the police on me today because they fucking called me today.
No one called.
Want to see something? I'll show you something. Hold on.
Yeah, show me.
Yeah, I got a call from the New Jersey police today.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you probably get a call from the police a lot because you're a loon.
Hey, but you're a fat loon who can't get an erection. That's okay. Look, you can laugh. I know that you can't get one. I know that you can't get one.
Not gonna lie.
I know that you can't get an erection.
Are you gonna fight it in your life?
I know that.
Are you gonna
it's
fight
okay if you can't get an erection. There's blue chew for that. There's blue chew.
Are you going to fight Tupac in the
So have you noticed that you don't have an argument anymore once I actually pinned it down that Christ's resurrection was purely phenomenological? Have you noticed that?
Yeah. Are you going to fight
If Christ's
Tupac
resurrection was purely phenomenological, then it opens itself up to the possibility of how we can actually interpret the real phenomenology of the resurrection. Because here's what we do believe. Bart Ehrman, who's one of the great skeptics of early Christian New Testament history, said that one way, shape, or form we could make
what would it take to get your bitch ass in the ring with Tupac?
He said, but one thing which is historically certain amongst both atheistic and theistic scholars of New Testament writings, he said that the very followers of Jesus Christ minimally at least believed that they had a direct experience of Jesus resurrected post-mortem.
Oh, wow.
And that they all went to their deaths for this. He said this is uncontestable history.
Wait, he does not.
And it's
say
also
the death
uncontestable history that people don't die for things they believe to be in a lie.
Yeah, okay.
The church schisms.
Are you going to fight? Are you going to fight?
Started Christianity was whether or not it was a spiritual resurrection.
We're talking
about. It was a physical resurrection. Or it was an apocalyptic resurrection.
Wait, Deathless, you're going to die thinking you can do a
Depending on
backflip,
what
and that's
answer
a lie.
you had,
Hold up.
determines for yourself as to whether or not you were a Judaizer, you were a Hellenizer, or you were Orthodox.
I have that evidence.
That's how that, or Judaizer, Hellenizer, or Gnostic, rather. Orthodox was the syncretism.
You're going to die.
You kind of got to just let
backflip,
Deathless
and
get
that's
through
gonna
his
be a lie.
cycle. Once he gets through his cycle, he like drops down and goes on to the life. But go ahead, Deathless. Continue the cycle.
I'm finished.
Okay, are you going to fight Tupac?
Yeah.
All right. What day will you fight Tupac?
I'm just going to show up at the gym.
The gym that he doesn't work out at. You dumb fuck.
Yeah, he doesn't go to a gym.
He said he's going to meet me at Retro.
Yeah, but how can he meet you if he doesn't know when to be there, dummy? You're an idiot.
Yeah, he works out at home.
You're going to show up at a gym he's not going to be at and be like, "Fight me, Tupac." He's not going to be there.
He works out at a home gym at 127 Courthouse Road.
If someone could get me his address, that'd be lovely.
I can give it to you.
Please.
Yeah.
Do you?
Yeah, he lives in New Jersey. I know where he lives.
Dude, you shouldn't be fighting anyone.
Do me a favor. Do me a favor. Give me that, please. Give me that.
Yeah, I'm going to follow you right now. You can follow me back and DM me, and I'll give it to you.
Thank you.
Deathless, you're a Christian, right?
No, he's a Baha'i, right? Deathless?
Your worst nightmare.
Not only is he a Baha'i, he's also the incarnate of Saint Michael.
Okay, well then this guy's not all there.
So apparently, you guys don't understand anything about Jungian archetypology.
Wait, Genesis, what the fuck did you just say about Deathless? He's not all there?
Yeah, he thinks he's the incarnation of Saint Michael. Then he's not all there.
That's very mean to mock him.
You apparently don't know too much about Jungian archetypology. So let me ask you this: if I put my fingers,
I don't want to know about it. You think that you're an angel.
Genesis, watch this. Genesis, watch this. If I put my fingers into the form of a triangle, and a triangle is a platonic object, are my fingers the incarnation of a triangle? Yeah, they are. Now, if I take my fingers and I arrange my fingers in a perfect circle, are my fingers the incarnation of a perfect circle?
So how are you Saint Michael?
So if I'm
going to put my fingers in your perfect circle.
If I orient my life,
how are you Saint
my life
Michael?
phenomenology into the idea of a warrior of God on purpose and specifically modeled.
Dude,
my life after this archetypal pattern.
This is terrible.
Is the archetypal pattern reproduced in my flesh? Yes, it is. So in this particular instance, there's nothing unreasonable about my claim once you understand archetypology, Platonism, mathematics, and geometry. It all follows from first principles. As a matter of fact, this is the very principle that Christianity teaches on orthodoxy, which instantiates that somebody has to be saved by. If you do not conform the image of who you are phenomenologically into the geometry of Christ's life and follow the pattern of Christ's life, so it's no longer you who lives, but Christ who lives in you, the word for which is one who is like God, which is represented in orthodoxy by the icon of Saint Michael, then what we're effectively dealing with is someone who's a heretic who's deviated from the original Orthodox teachings.
Well, Deathless,
that's exactly what the Christians are teaching.
Listen, Deathless, I heard a rumor about you. I need you to confirm. Where are you at in the summer of 2005?
Is just simply an individual who achieves.
Wait, Deathless, this is very
personifying.
He left. Deathless, he left. He ran
him away.
Where are you at in the summer of 2005?
Where was I in the summer? Oh, I was in Delaware.
Okay, because there's a rumor that you started Katrina. Is that true?
Excuse me?
There's a rumor floating around that you started Hurricane Katrina.
I'm having a hard time understanding you speaking through all the fat on your face.
Yeah.
There's
Wait, what does
your cheeks have to do with this? Your cheeks are pushed together too tightly.
Hold on, let me swallow my food. Hold on. Okay.
Oh, no, you swallow your double chin.
There's a rumor that you started Hurricane Katrina. Is that true?
It's their fault for living below sea level.
Do you want to? Will you publicly deny that rumor right now, just for your fans, that you didn't start Hurricane Katrina?
You bore me.
You don't bore me. I fucking love you. You're hilarious.
No, Deathless. Want to hear something funny about Tupac? Tupac thinks correspondence theory is gibberish, but it nevertheless entails pragmatism about truth claims. I mean, have you ever heard about something so brain dead?
So wait, hold on. He says correspondence.
Yeah, he thinks correspondence theory of truth is gibberish, but it nevertheless entails pragmatism about truth claims. I mean,
how do you have entailments? How do you have an entailments without correspondences between X's and Y's? What?
I ended him. He died like a dog.
like what the hell? So people are going to have. So here's what it is. I have a mainline account, and my mainline account is dedicated to me promulgating my philosophy called apocalyptic mythorealism, and it makes all different kinds of wonky claims. I'm not
AMR.
AMR, apocalyptic mythorealism.
Yeah. I've heard of it.
Oh, you've heard of
it? We call it Amber around here.
Well,
like
Amber,
without the H.
No, Amr is actually Arabic for command.
Yeah,
it means the highest.
So I amber you to shut the fuck up, sir, while Deathless is talking.
Oh, my bad. Sorry.
So in Arabic, Amr means command. It means the highest level of reality conceivable. So I just found out that apocalyptic mythorealism had the coincidence and synchronicity. So I thought it was rather telling. Now, apocalyptic mythorealism is how the universe is governed by coincidences. It's governed by synchronicities, and that these synchronicities are paradigmatically deconstructed into deterministic models which have correspondences with these archetypes, but the archetypes are expressive of these deterministic models.
You know what my favorite Deathless line is? It's, I'm the second dumbest guy in the room, and you just lost to me. How does it feel to lose? That's my favorite Deathless line.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. So, if anybody, so, sir, I have a question. Let's run a thought experiment. I want you to
wait. Sir can't run because he's overweight. So let's walk.
He'll probably break his hip.
Let's set down a thought experiment.
So in this particular, that's not my definition of God. It's not my God is the idea of God. God is the idea of all conceivable ideas.
Yeah, how's it feel to lose, Charles?
Yeah. So if you want, I can unpack that. So allow me to unpack this.
He asked if we want, then he said he's going to do it anyway. Go ahead.
So have you guys ever heard of the grounding problem of realism?
No, go ahead. So
Kant is the first person to discover that you cannot ground propositions on realism.
Oh, nice. Don't call me that.
Okay. Kant discovered in Critique of Pure Reason that you cannot properly ground any propositions in realism in the objective world. And the reason being is because if all knowledge, according to Hume, begins off of the sensory interface, and then it leaves impressions on the sensory organs, which translate these sensory structure, these impressions into experiences, and then we abstract from our experiences interpretations which are logical. Then the furthest we could extend our knowledge is into the sensory surface, which is in pure perception. But past the threshold of pure perception, it becomes inarguably intermediated forever by unconditional skepticism and what is without. Now,
global skepticism in the industry.
Right. So as a consequence of Humean skepticism, what we have is an unconditional solipsism. Now, this enormous.
Here's what we're going to do. How's it feel to lose?
Sure. Thank you. So this, I appreciate it.
Deathless, I got a question.
So hold on. I just would like to finish this idea. So what happened here is that Kant comes along and he says there's a difference between two different categories of event. He said there's something called the phenomena, which is how things appear, and there's something called the noumena, which is that which stands behind the appearance. Now, we can know everything which is phenomena, meaning that which appears in consciousness, but you cannot extend knowledge past the phenomenal interface into the noumena, because the thing in itself requires simply this. He called the thing in itself the noumena. He said all phenomena requires intuitions in order for us to interpret it. And foremost amongst these intuitions are two categories. They're called space and time. He said, for an example, you cannot actually measure anything in the phenomenal interface without assuming space and time. They have to be brute assumptions. And these assumptions have to be built into your knowledge. Otherwise, you're not able to actually derive any sort of longhand or long-form conclusions. So he says space and time are just intuitions. He says space and time are just psychological intuitions, and he gives this proof. Try to imagine a triangle Yeah, no, well, you're sounding heavy. You got sleep apnea? There's sleep studies. Hey, sir, there's sleep studies for that.
There is? Yeah, great.
I suggest Weight Watchers.
Do you?
Yeah,
why would I take a suggestion from a loon like you?
Because I make better decisions. Look at my body versus yours.
You think you make good decisions? You're a total lunatic.
And I beat you at everything.
You don't beat me at anything.
Dude, name one thing you've ever won. You're not even winning this conversation.
That's true.
Well, I think I'm winning. I feel like winner.
Yeah,
to be fair, Sir's body kind of looks cartoony, and Deathless body.
No, but Sir himself is a subjectivist, and because he's an ethically subjectivist, he believes his conclusions are actually subjective. But if it's his opinion that he's the actual winner, and that's a subjective opinion according to his own definition, it can be my opinion that I'm objectively the winner.
How's it feel?
My opinion that I'm objectively the winner. I am therefore even the objective winner in his mind, and therefore I'm objectively the winner.
How's it feel to lose?
Yeah, I'm just like you.
How's it feel to lose?
Like, sir.
Wait, Deathless, I have a question.
Sure, what's up?
How does it feel to lose?
Everybody loves that. How come you guys love that so much?
It's funny.
Wait, the one I like, you could say, I know exactly where to go with you. I know exactly what I'm going to do, and I know exactly how to get away with it.
That's another good one.
That's so creative.
Whoa. Uh-oh.
Yo.
Someone look out for this guy. He's on loose.
Oh, I'm going to die. Oh, I'm awesome. Oh, I love myself.
You're choking on your own brilliance.
Deathless is a goat.
I love myself. Oh, how can I love myself? Oh, that was awesome. Why am I so cool?
A good plastic surgeon if you're looking to get some ribs removed.
Get some ribs removed? Look, I could probably benefit that. You almost said something witty because I thought you were going to make a 1989 Joker reference. When he had the plastic surgery and he had to get his face reconstructed, you missed that golden opportunity.
Yeah, I did.
You missed that.
That would have been a great one.
That would have been a great one. You almost had it.
I almost had it. I almost made you laugh twice in a row.
Hey, Charles, I got a question. Charles, I got a question for you. How's it feel to lose?
Been doing it my whole life, and you get used to it.
This is what I want to say. Hold on.
You sound like Caucasian Jambar 11.
I want to get back to this. So Kant discovered there's a grounding problem in logic that you can't ground. You can't ground propositions on realism, and this was eventually
the phenomena and the noumena.
Yes, and this was eventually proven by Gettier. It's called the Gettier problem.
Gettier cases, yeah.
The Gettier problem.
Yeah, so the Gettier case is the Gettier problem.
Deathless, is your favorite word ground?
No, it's mound. No,
That's pretty good. He just mounted you.
So
if he's gay, then yeah.
So here's what it is, sir.
Not gay.
Nothing wrong with being gay.
Here's the Gettier problem, sir.
Nothing wrong with that.
No one said there's something wrong with it.
Let's say that you correctly identified that you're observing a giraffe in phenomenology, and off the actual topic of a topical content of your own phenomenology, there's a giraffe outside. Even if you have the correct conclusion that it's a giraffe, you can't know that it's a giraffe. You could have the correct idea. It could be completely right.
Accidentally correct, right?
Right.
Wait, that's not the Gettier. That's not the Gettier problem. The Gettier problem is about having accidental knowledge.
No. That's exactly the Gettier problem. That's exactly what it is. It could be accidental that you got it right.
Yeah.
And if it was accident, if your justifications are accidental rather than essential, then you don't have knowledge. So even if
wait, what do you think about people who use this account of knowledge? JTB except for Gettier cases. What do you think about that?
I don't know what JTB is.
So justified true belief except for Gettier cases.
Justified true belief only applies to direct or inner experience, except for Gettier cases. But this is the thing: you could have justify. I would agree with it. Justified true belief is only possible if on idealism. It's not possible in realism.
Well, yeah, I mean that's obvious, but yeah, some people say some people say that Gettier cases are a defeater for JTB. But I always say, why can't you just have JTB with the exception of as long as it's not a Gettier case?
No. You're absolutely right about that. That's actually pretty smart. I'm pretty impressed that you said that.
That's a common thing. That's a very common thing people say. What do you mean?
You sir,
No,
shut the fuck up. No, they don't.
No, that was
I'm totally
yeah,
unique.
that's
Original, never been done before.
that's
Linda
actually-
Evangelista.
Even the simplicity with which he phrased it is actually impressive, because to be able to express something that simply and that quickly and effectively.
Wait, Deathless, could you give me one compliment? I mean, you've never given me a compliment before.
Yeah, I'm glad that you're not as fat as you could be.
Come on, give me a real compliment.
No, that was a real one.
I just don't think it's fair. I give you compliments. I'm very nice to you.
No, you could easily be 15 pounds heavier.
Yeah, I'm very nice to you.
15.
I'm very nice to you. I give you compliments. You can't.
The low number was even more insulting.
Throw me a bone. Throw me a bone. Come on.
It implies there's not much left to go. You know.
Yeah. So he understood the joke. All right. So. All right, you guys are gonna fucking kill me. I gotta get calm.
Well, you're
right,
the one doing it. You're killing yourself.
Oh, trust me, I kill me. Now, here's the thing. Here's the thing.
Okay.
Now that we have demonstrated that you cannot actually have
Here's what we're gonna do.
You cannot ground proposition. You cannot ground propositions on realism. Here's the thing. Now we're going to apply.
Here's what we're going to do.
We're going to apply. Hold on. Watch this. We're going to apply Hitchens' razor.
Here's what we're going to do. Watch this.
Hold on. This is going to be worth it. I promise you.
Yeah.
I promise you. What could be asserted without evidence could be dismissed without evidence. Now, you could only assert without evidence a mind-independent reality. But if you assert without evidence a mind-independent reality, I could assert without evidence that it's not there, with one additional advantage. According to Leibniz's law, which is the principle of indiscernibility,
Yeah.
what is indistinguishable should be treated as identical. And because you assert without evidence a mind-independent reality, what could be asserted without evidence could be dismissed without evidence. And moreover, on the principle of indiscernibility, I can make that indistinguishable from it not being there. Now we moved into a really powerful place to which we could start kicking the shit out of atheism completely. Yeah. Because with this particular
listen up. You could learn something.
Now we could actually move towards a definition of God that will be necessarily true in all logically possible worlds.
Well, we already know God is the idea of God, right?
No, it's not. That's not the definition.
Charles, how's that feel loose?
Well, did you not say God is the idea of God?
God is the idea of all conceivable ideas, you dumb fuck.
Yeah, the idea of all conceivable
Charles,
ideas.
I'm going to help you.
Is God the content
Deathless is the second dumbest person he knows, and you just lost to him. How's it feel to lose?
Real.
Yeah, thank you.
Did you say God is the content
Why does
of the
Charles sound
idea
like Caucasian Jambar 11?
Hold on. Now I'm going to define what I mean by God is the idea of all conceivable ideas. I'm going to give you a more of all conceivable ideas. I'm going to give you a more fundamental definition.
Well, if you do that, Deathless, you're letting Charles get you on a derail because you were explaining something else.
No, I was leading to this anyway.
That's what I asked it. Yeah.
I was absolutely leading to this.
Yeah, Charles is just trying to get to the next step of the argument.
If God is the idea of all conceivable ideas, sometimes people push for a more exact definition that's synonymous with it. So normally you need logical morphisms between definitions in order to pivot so you can prove it consistent. This is another way to the same thing. God is the intellectual structure of all logically possible worlds.
And because this exists in all logically possible worlds.
Now, here's the thing. If God is the idea of all conceivable ideas and all logically possible worlds are ideas, then God would be the intellectual structure of all logically possible worlds. Now, all you need from here is to just simply make the statement, God is logos, the definition of which is the intellectual structure of all logically possible worlds. And then atheists will have to argue against the intellectual structure of all logically possible worlds to falsify the existence of God. But in their attempt to do so, they have to falsify the intellectual structure of this world, which would falsify the intellectual structure of their own argument, which means God's existence is ontologically established as necessary and sufficient in all logically possible worlds, and there is no case exception.
Mm-hmm.
You said all logically possible worlds are ideas?
Sorry, Charles. Can you steel man the argument?
Well, Charles, I was just saying, I was definitely.
Now I want to ask the question. Hold on.
Wait,
now
no,
this is what
hold on. Let's
this is
get
the
him.
point. This is the point.
Sorry, let's get him this. Let's
I have
get
a
him
point.
to steel man the argument.
Sir. I have a
Yes,
point.
sir.
I want you to try something.
Yeah.
I want you for an example. To assume the definition that God is.
I want you to want me for an example.
I'm going to want you. Look, I want you to assume for a definition that God is the intellectual structure of all logically possible worlds, and I'm going to be an atheist. So I'm going to try to argue against you, and watch how quickly you beat me.
Wait, don't have. I feel uncomfortable doing this.
Yeah, because imagine what would happen if you actually had to look at different sides of the argument. God forbid you.
Yeah.
Let Zach do it.
So no, hold on. I want you to make the argument that God is the intellectual structure of all logically possible worlds.
I'm too bashful.
No, what it is? Here, see what you're doing?
I'm telling you that I'm bashful. I'm telling you how I feel.
Here's what's going on. No, there's a deeper psychological issue here.
Yeah, he's not. Wait, sir. He's not a treadmill. He's not a treadmill. You don't have to fear him.
Okay. All right. So, hey, sir, make the argument against me, and I'm going to use typical atheist objections that God is the intellectual structure of all logically possible worlds.
Just do it, sir.
So watch this. I'm going to say, watch this. I'm going to say there's no evidence for the existence of God. Why should I believe in it? Come up and use that definition or reason.
Yeah. Okay. So,
bros, really say it. You know.
Yeah. So premise one.
Say it with your chest.
Premise one: if contradictions exist, then all logical possible worlds exist, right? Okay. If all logical possible worlds exist, God exists. Therefore, God exists. Gotcha, bitch.
That's actually a good argument.
It's a really good argument, actually. Like using an explosion like that is crazy.
That's absolutely. I wouldn't be able to counter that argument. And here's why I wouldn't be able to counter that argument. If I say contradictions don't exist, then anything is consistent, including the existence of God, and would establish it is necessarily there.
Boom.
But if I say the contradictions do exist, the explosion follows as a matter of dictus implicator, and then God would necessarily. I can't contradict that argument. So let's do it again. Once you accept this definition as God, you will beat everyone in an argument forever.
Ever.
Yeah, no one's going to be able to beat you. What are they going to do? They say
then
God doesn't exist.
Then I can say, how's it feel to lose?
Oh, absolutely, you can say that. But this is the whole position. So this is why Christians and Muslims agree that God at some level is at least the word. And this is where Shark is coming from. Shark is effectively making the argument. Shark.
I think Shark is like a brain dead theist.
No, Shark is really good.
Oh, you're talking about good? Shark. Okay.
Shark is really good.
I'll pay attention to him then.
No, you got to pay attention to him.
We should look him up.
Theist Shark is really, really good. He knows what he's talking about, and he's not small potatoes.
Yeah.
So once you grant that God is,
they're huge.
Now, here's why I believe in intelligent design.
Okay.
So if the universe is intelligible, then the universe is in its structure indistinguishable from an intellectual structure. Mm-hmm. If it's indistinguishable from an intellectual structure, it is therefore identical with an intellectual structure. Mm-hmm. But intellectual structures are necessarily the consequence. But intellectual structures are either necessarily the consequence of a first intellect, or they are necessarily the consequence of themselves being intellectual in themselves. Either case, if it's option A, the universe is intelligently designed by something external to itself, and if it's option B, the universe is intelligently designed by virtue of itself. Intelligent design, the intelligibility of the universe necessitates an intellectual structure, which could only have this as a necessary and sufficient cause, an intellect. So the premise goes like this: if the universe exhibits intelligibility, then it is intelligently designed. The universe exhibits intelligibility, therefore it's intelligently designed. And then any attempt to actually contradict that terminates in a destructive dilemma, to which you argue from both points of the fork, and then you just clip them there.
What do you think about that, Zach? Zach, what do you think about that?
I think that's awesome. I've never heard it like. Usually, like philosophical dilemmas are such that, like, if you take one horn, you have one problem, And if you take another horn, you have a different problem. But this is like no matter which horn you take, it's the same fundamental universal problem.
Yeah, that's how that is. If atheists admit that the universe is intelligible, in order to know that, it actually has to reproduce the intellectual structure of the one.
It's like the horns got so big and sharp that they came together at the end.
It's kind of like that. But let's look at it this way: if I have a predicate,
the horns are like me and all my buddies in college. They came together.
I have an idea. I have an idea in apocalyptic myth or realism called rescription, and it's the complement of description. A thing is describable if and only if the ontological structure of the description promenades in that which is described. And if it promenades in that which is described, the properties of what it's described is rescripted into the description, collapsing the distinction between them.
Hey, Deathless, so, do you still
it's like omniscriptive?
No, I haven't said omniscriptive. I just say description and rescription.
Wait, do you still run that? Do you still run that website of yours? Is that still up?
No, I haven't run it for a while.
Do you remember the name of the website? Yeah. I lost it. What is it? It
was avatar.paradigms. I took it down for a little bit because I'm getting ready to reboot it.
Oh, it's not up right now?
No, not right now.
Oh, okay.
Is this guy like why does he keep like derailing?
Sorry.
Because he's trying to troll me.
No, I'm not. I wanted to look at the website.
Okay.
It seems like you're trying to troll.
Kylo here got my book. I'm excited to see what he says about it.
But is it on Amazon?
Wait, Kylo, I didn't know you could read.
Wait, which book?
Yo, Bart, you get a shout out. What's up, homie?
Is your book on Amazon, Deathless?
Yeah, but Amazon stole it and Walmart stole it. I didn't give them permission.
Deathless, every time I check the door, I'm waiting on the package.
Wait, what does that mean? They stole it. You don't get money when they sell your book?
No, I don't. Walmart.
How can they do that?
Who the fuck knows? But they got it and they're selling it.
Well, you don't know how it happened. It just kind of happened. They like. What do you mean?
Well, I mean,
Tiny Science would like to.
That's super easy.
Tiny Science would like to say it has 1 star.
Just
Tiny
get
Science
a publishing lawyer, and you can win in court easily.
Yeah, I get about $250,000 in about 2.
Do you sell the book privately? Is that what's going on?
So the book is right here.
How much do you sell the book for?
They're $20.
I might be interested.
Look, if you get it, it's really heavy science. But
then I have to give you my address, and I don't trust you with my address. So
speaking of addresses, Deathless, remember to DM me for $2 address.
Oh, I will. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, super. That's actually excellent. He's gonna shit his pants when I show the fuck up. Holy shit! He's probably gonna try to shoot me.
Is there a PDF for the book?
So, yeah, there is, but I'd prefer that it made money. So the book itself compiles all the quantum mechanics, the cybernetics, the chaos theory, the transpersonal psychology. That's absolutely indispensable towards the spiritual worldview. So it's got about 350 pages, about 360 pages of formatted, cited, indexed scientific research. It's massively scientific. I've never seen a book this well cited, this well compacted with legitimate meta-analyzed science. So if people want to talk that I don't know science, well, just read this book. You're going to see that I know science probably better than most scientists.
Wait, is this the AMR book or is this?
No. This is. I'll show you the book. Here, I'll show you. This is it.
Hey, let's see the book. Let's see the book. Let's see the book. Let's see the book.
That's it.
That cover's fire.
I designed it. Thank you.
Sleeping.
So here, the nature of the experiment he derived to prove this is easy to describe enough. It begins with a pion, which is a neutrally charged particle with the potential to decay. According to the EPR paradox, should the pion decay? So watch this. More science. Look at this. More science on every page. Every page is loaded with scientific citations. Loaded. There's over 1,000 scientific citations in here.
That was a lot of science there.
What's the book called, Deathless?
It's called here. It's called.
Wait, but maybe not. Well, there's something going on where
Sleep in
Walmart
the Helix.
and Amazon are like stealing. So if you want to buy it, just message Deathless. Don't.
Here. For example, here, watch this. Listen to this. That one habitable universe should randomly self-construct out from what physicists calculate is 1 in 10 to the 500 power, equally plausible but unlikely dead alternatives, is astronomically more improbable than the likelihood of the total random processes of evolution generating a new species of life. In fact, according to the calculations of mathematical physicist Sir Frederick Hoyle, the likelihood of a universe appearing in its present form being once stable enough to support evolution is statistically comparable to the winds of a hurricane assembling a fully functional F-18 from the debris of a scrapyard. Impossible, says the mind, and yet from a statistical vantage point, this is exactly what happened. So the likelihood of simply one species appearing, the likelihood of simply one species of life appearing out of a random explosion originating in the actual Planck point singularity is more unlikely than a hurricane blowing through a scrapyard assembling a fully functional F-18. Never mind an entire ecosystem of them.
Pruk, if you're interested in the book, I mean, I would buy it from Deathless because
just buy it from Deathless.
Amazon stole his publishing rights, so he can't.
Definitely.
So if you think about it like this, when atheists say that it's all by chance, the likelihood of a virus is exponentially far more unlikely to occur by function of chance.
Yeah, but what if an atheist
like a tornado building a dirt bike?
What if an atheist just ran a stalking horse objection and said there's like a multiverse?
Who cares, bro? If there's no horses, there's no F-18s. What the fuck?
So it covers that. So there's an experiment called the Schrödinger-Afshar experiment, which falsifies the physical multiverse.
Wait, sir. F-18s are insanely faster than horses. They can break the sound barrier.
I thought horses were the sound barrier too.
What the fuck? Especially if the horse is just walking or whatever the fuck you said.
Stupid me.
So I'll show you something. I'll show you something right out of this book.
Okay.
Because this is enormously inconvenient. This is enormously inconvenient. Here we go. Yet by the 19th century, following the publication of Charles Darwin's The Origin of Species, the history of determinism would again transcend itself. Proposing evolution via natural selection as the primary mechanism responsible for the development of life on Earth, it was on this basis that Charles Darwin's half-cousin, the Victorian polymath Sir Francis Galton, proposed the question concerning the degree with which the determinants of animal behavior were reducible to matters of evolutionary nature or nurture by environment. A controversial topic at the time, it was the nurture aspect with which was first corroborated by the research of psychologist Ivan Pavlov in the field associative learning.
Hey, that's my dog.
Namely through the discovery of classical conditioning.
You get it because he did the experiments on dogs?
Yes. Karl Marx, considered by Isaiah Berlin as the father of modern sociology, carried the lessons of Pavlov further when theorizing that factors of socioeconomic conditioning...
Merely the feces. What's the feces there? Merely the feces.
Melee the feces? What are you talking about?
Merely the feces. It's the last sentence there in that upper paragraph.
Merely... let's see. Let's see. Oh, the feces of... Yeah, hold on.
Hey, Deathless, after this, can you show us the table of contents?
I know what he's talking about. I'm saying that basically to suggest that the universe is the feces of determinism. That's what atheists believe. No, that's not. If the universe is the waste product, and if the universe is a thermodynamic waste product of deterministic effects, you believe the universe is just the feces of determinism. That's not right.
Let's say theoretically, Deathless, if I ordered a copy of the book, would you autograph it and put a little inscription in there for me?
Well, it's not gonna come from me to you, but it's gonna come. It's gonna come from that place to this place. But
wait, if I reach out to you and send you the money for it, you can't ship me a copy.
Yeah, but this is the point I was trying to get at. So there was an experiment by the Iranian physicist named Schrödinger-Afshar.
Spark my question. Go ahead.
He falsified the existence of particles. And it's considered one of the most transformative and groundbreaking experiments in all of quantum mechanics. He proved that you can actually detect the presence of the wave simultaneous to the particle, which means the particle has to be a holographic projection of the wave. Which means
Can I see the table of contents?
Sure.
So, Deathless, if I reached out to you privately, wanting to buy a book, I couldn't like send you the money and have you send me a copy of the book and like inscript it for me?
Yeah, I can do that.
Oh, okay. How much would that run me? $20, you said?
Yeah, it'd be $20 for the book and then just shipping, whatever the hell it is.
Man, that might be.
So what it is?
That sounds like a steal.
This isn't. Yeah, I don't charge. I don't charge people. Oh, hold on.
Knowledge shouldn't have a paywall.
I don't charge people a whole lot for the material that I produce. I'm going to charge a lot for. I'm going to charge a lot for the Deathless Light.
Wait, who's rude?
Yeah, but
that's
the guy actually put work into the book. He should get something for it. I mean,
no, I had a fiance, and when she was alive when I wrote it for her, she died.
That's so sad. I'm sorry.
It's okay. You know, you find out how to live your life. You find out how to live it, how to be a man. That's it. That's just all there is.
Yeah, sometimes Under the Gun raises you to 3.5 big blinds, and then you have to, have 17% equity, but you still have to go all in on before the flop, and then it turns out they just shove.
Okay, Brick.
Sometimes that happens.
That was like something out of like Step Brothers, where like Will Ferrell just says something like that, and you're just like wondering what the hell he's talking about, and then you're just like, yep.
How long did it take you to make this book?
I guess I get nervous.
Asleep in the Helix. I started writing Asleep in the Helix in late 2008. I wrote it all the way through 2009, and I published it in 2010.
Is that the only book you published, or did you publish one after that?
No, that's not the only book I published. The other ones aren't available. They were sort of early attempts at philosophy. I wrote a book, it was about 25, called Being Conscious. It was only about 150 pages. But then, so I had a fiance, and she was an alcoholic, and I started writing Asleep in the Helix because she had an identical twin sister who passed away from alcoholic intoxication, from alcohol poisoning.
Damn.
So I wrote her Asleep in the Helix as a guidebook of everything she'd ever need in her life to live a perfectly healthy life, if in the event that she was ever and she didn't know what was the right course of life act to take with respect to anything.
Wait, they were sisters and they were both alcoholics?
Yep.
That's fucked.
Yeah, it's bad. So she lost her identical twin sister when she was 23 to alcohol poisoning, and then years later she herself passed away from mixing alcohol with prescription drugs by accident. And I wrote her the book because I wanted her to have a guide for life, so that no matter what, whether I was there or if I wasn't there, something should happen to me, that there was always my advice there for her. So if she didn't know how I would handle it, I just wanted her to be able to have my advice forever. So I wrote her the book, and then she died. And that's how it went.
Well, now she lives on through the book, her memory. Well, that's true. But she also lives forever in the mind of God, which is even better. So what the book is, so I'll try to explain something. The book in the world in the cutting edge of vacuum physics is something that atheists ignore. Now, here's the thing. If I take a block of iron and I cut a block of iron in half, and then I cut a block of iron in half, and I cut a block of iron in half, how many times can I cut this block of iron in half?
Infinite, right?
16.
Not before it's smaller than that. Not many. By about
like
15.
12, right? Like 12?
Yeah, it's like 12, 15 cuts. Right.
Yeah.
It's not by many.
Damn, I almost got right in the first guess.
I've heard about this.
Now, watch how this gets. So let's just say, for the sake of argument, I had a grandfather clock. And every time this grandfather clock pendulum ticked, and I unplugged it at the zenith of its swing, and every time the grandfather clock ticks, it shrinks by a factor of itself. How long would it take before it actually shrunk down to be smaller than an atom, and it started to actually and the pendulum stopped swinging?
Yeah, like the same, right?
Well, the answer is different. The answer is that it would never stop swinging, and here's why. The moment the grandfather clock got smaller than an atom, the pendulum would always have this residual jiggle. And that's because it would have gotten so small that the fundamental in space-time invariations, the space-time fluctuations, would always percolate in such a way that there would always be this residual jiggle in the pendulum. Now, we call that bubbling sea of information and energy. We call that the zero-point field. Here's how it works. Now, there's something called a virtual particle. This is how we know that it's bubbling. It's the most bizarre fact in all physics. Now, on special theory of relativity, the speed limit of the universe is about 186,000 miles per second. Now, in 1 second, it could go around the world 8.5 times at that speed. That's pretty fucking fast. Or in about 6.5 to 7 minutes, I could get to the sun.
Yeah.
Now,
so it's like speed of light, basically.
Right. Now, here's what a wave function is. A wave function is just a plot which distributes the likelihood of a particle showing up according to where the cloud is densest when we actually put this cloud plot together. So when we combine relativity and special relativity with quantum mechanics, there's one way that we have to model it. Because we can't know the precise location of the particle, we have to model the actual wave equation as flying at 186,000 miles per second, putting the speed of light, putting the place the particle is most likely in the middle. But what this means is that there's always a statistical likelihood that when you go to make an observation of it, it will be ahead of the lagging edge of the light barrier. Now, if it ever travels ahead of the light barrier, relativity predicts that it will actually go backwards in time. And if it goes backwards in time, it will go backwards in time from the future, time travel into its own past, and there's a statistical possibility it could collide with itself in its own past in the form of a particle-antiparticle interaction. And when there's a particle-antiparticle interaction, they annihilate and they convert into 100% energy, and it gets redistributed as what's called the cosmological constant, which is the energy density of a vacuum. So in this cosmological constant, which is the energy density of the vacuum is space-time, and every cubic centimeter of space has about 1 trillion potential Hiroshima blasts embedded at any given moment. Because of these interactions that we can test and we can detect them, and we know that they're there. Which means the energy density of the vacuum is being driven to inflate because time-traveling particles from the future are time-traveling and colliding with themselves in their own past, here and now, driving space-time inflation. Which means the universe is created from the future backwards, not from the past forward. All right? Now, this quantum sea of information and energy is not made out of anything physical.
Okay.
It's made out of pure information. And here's what we know about this. Okay? We call this the 0-point field because it's the lowest energy density state in the universe. It's not because there's no energy there. It's just the lowest energy density state in the universe. Now, in this 0-point field, because it's pre-spatiotemporal, any fragment of it that's in it at all is holographically distributed through everything else. So every single fragment of it is fractally distributed through every single fragment of it, which means that each one of our minds, being participant in this field, exists universally distributed across the totality of this actual field, which means all of our minds are universally distributed. And that means the universal field of space-time is a universal mind. This is built right into the physics. Know this exists. It's measurable, it's there, and it's known to exist, and the science is there, and this is what the text is about. Now, it gets even.
Wait, 1 second, Deathless, real quick. If you ever, I'm just gonna forget this if I don't say it now because I have to go soon. DM me for Tupac's address, and
yeah, thank you.
If you ever make an OnlyFans, your username should be the residual jiggle. Okay, I gotta go.
Oh, that's fucking awesome. So what we have is that there's a 0-point field made out of holographic consciousness that holographically distributes any one particular mind infinitely across the infinite expanse of all other minds. Which means all conceivable knowledge is holographically embedded in this structure. Now, here's what's really interesting. If I move, so let's say I have a lake, and I hop in a canoe and I canoe out on this lake, it leaves interference patterns in the surface of the lake. And if wind and water, if wind and other environmental factors didn't exist to cancel these interference patterns out, these interference patterns would remain in the pond forever. Similarly, every time that you move through the 0-point field, you leave interference patterns behind you. And that means everything you've ever done is actually recorded. It's written down in the 0-point field in the form of interference patterns. What that means is that the universe is recording everything that you do. Sound kind of weird? Sound kind of familiar? Yep. Turns out that's actually true. And if you had sufficiently advanced laser technology,